You can bring these chairs over there so you're not so far away if you want.
We're fine. We can hear you.
Yeah. Pardon?
We can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's other chairs if anybody else shows up. We're good. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
well,
what do I
hello
do to
everyone.
turn it on?
And, happy Father's
What do
Day
I
to
do?
you fathers who are fathers.
Aw, that's nice.
Is it on now? Is it on
Happy
now?
Father's Day to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. My son actually called me.
Yeah, that's nice.
How's he doing?
Because I didn't raise him at all, I don't feel like I should be given that honor, but he did call me to wish me happy.
Well, he did save his
Nice.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, twice.
It's nice.
Randy.
Where is he living now?
Well, my wife is going to have an abortion, and I stopped the abortion. So when he was a fetus.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you did save his life. then.
Yeah, twice. Yes.
The second time was
I think
what?
that deserves an acknowledgement on Father's
Yeah.
Day.
What was the second
Hello
time?
there.
Was it-
It's in the book. It's in the
At
book.
some point, I want to collect the 40 from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to get started.
Drugs?
Now, is there anybody that has to leave before 5?
Accident, yeah.
We have one only. Okay, then we'll start with Meryl.
Okay, so the question I have has to do with acid reflux. What do you do for acid reflux?
It depends on the reason for it. If you have not had a vagotomy, it means you didn't have the vagus nerve severed.
No.
Okay, and it's just acids that have built up in the esophageal lining.
Well, they did the test where they found it up here, and it's very recent. This whole thing has happened much more recently than...
Well, that's
whatever.
usually what happens when you have a vagotomy. You stop dumping the acids into the stomach, and slowly but surely your entire esophagus starts producing the hydrochloric acid. Like in me, mine's even in my mouth. So that's acid. It's not really acid reflux.
Well,
it's
I'm
acids forming in your esophageal.
Okay, but I
Esophagus.
didn't have a vagotomy, so...
I know, but for some reason you must be very poisoned. Your vagus nerves to the stomach are poisoned, or your stomach's very scarred. So you're producing acids all the way up into your mouth and throat.
Yeah.
And you have to stay up, eat a little bit of cheese often. Usually means you have bad breath like me forever, because the acids digest the meat in the mouth first, and it's heavy. So I usually have to rinse my mouth with milk.
Well, that's an issue for me. I can't have milk, and
You can
I even
rinse your
tried
mouth
it.
with it.
Oh, okay. But I even tried the sheep's milk, and I've been doing that now for a while, and I went off it for a week for a variety of reasons, and I felt so much better the minute I went off it. So I don't...
How are you drinking it?
I was actually drinking it before, 20 minutes before bed.
No, but I mean, were you drinking it cold?
No. No. As a matter of fact, I sometimes even had it warm, put it in the, put it in the metal thing to just, with hot water, just to warm it up. And, God, what was
Did
it?
you drink it slowly and mix it in your mouth, or did you just
Probably
drown it?
not very slowly, not fast, but
Uh-huh.
not as slowly as you sometimes advocate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I was drinking it before I went to sleep because of the kidney stones I had, so I was
Right.
drinking it with the honey. And I was adding a lot of honey because of the digestive issue. But the acid reflux, they tell you not to eat for 2 hours before you go to sleep. So I was conflicted with how to do it. So
Well, raw food is different. Raw food, especially if it's liquid, does not take digestive enzymes to digest just bacteria.
Okay.
And of course, you have some low bacteria. It was really low when I first met you, so
Yeah.
it's a lot better. But without the milk, you're just not going to have the minerals you need to detoxify properly. So you're going to have to go through some discomfort if you want to get even better faster.
Okay, so when you say rinse with milk, you mean like
Put a tablespoon in your
gargle
mouth and gargle with it and mix it in your mouth and expectorated if you
Okay. Okay. But, they say not to eat tomatoes, which of course I was eating for moisture, because I don't drink milk.
Just
You know,
remember,
try
what
to
they
figure out
tell
how to
you is
say-
based on cooked foods.
Okay.
Everything that's cooked is
Okay.
5 times more acidic.
Okay. So raw tomatoes.
Raw tomatoes are actually alkaline when they end up in the rash.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
okay. So tomatoes are okay.
Yeah. Any
raw
raw food is
marinate
fine.
tomatoes, no good anymore, right?
No,
in other
it's
words,
fine.
like in ceviche, right? You've got the tomatoes in the ceviche.
That's fine.
It's
It's
okay?
only when you cook it does it
well, I
cauterize
never cook tomatoes anyway.
only when you cook foods do you cauterize the alkalizing minerals in it. Then they're very less effective, like 2/3 less effective, at most 2/3 effective. 2/3 less effective, so only 1/3 effective.
I've never even eaten cooked tomatoes except once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
just
You don't have to worry about that.
okay.
Don't listen to do the opposite of what they say. I tell everybody, 99% of the time you'll be right if you do the opposite of what they say.
So the whole thing about cooking the tomatoes to bring out the lycopene is a joke? Obviously.
Well, if you cook it, then you're not only going to have the lycopene, you're going to have... Tomato is the only food that almost exactly mimics the cancer cell in composition. When you cook it, it actually interferes with your dissolving dead cells, which cancer is, the inability to dissolve dead cells so they collect into fibroids and other misshaped tumors. They're just storages for dead cells that you can't dissolve. So eating cooked tomatoes to get the lycopene out of it, that's another spin on, sure, you don't digest the lycopene very well unless you cook them, unless you're eating a raw diet. Then you'll digest everything very well. Well, you remember when you ate cooked foods, they sat in your stomach and in your intestines. Now,
Yeah. A lot lighter.
yeah, now you get to overeat.
So it's doing the milk for the milk combination that I was doing for the kidney stones is fine. 20 minutes before I go to sleep, that won't harm the.
Yeah.
So it's just
Put an extra tablespoon of cream in it.
Oh, that's right. I put cream in it. Oh, so an extra tablespoon of cream.
Yeah.
I was. So that means it'll have. Because it's. I wasn't drinking as much as you said to drink because that was really bothering me. So I cut it in half.
Okay.
So I forgot now what the half was because it's been a couple weeks since I did it. So it was. I think I was doing 4 ounces of milk and 1 ounce of cream or something like that. Is that okay, or is that?
No, that's fine.
Okay. That includes that extra tablespoon, or you're saying do more cream now?
Well, how quick are you drinking it? This is before you go to bed.
Well, it's 20 minutes before I go to bed, yeah.
Bless you.
So I
You go right before you go to bed. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes I have to say I was, but usually I try to do it and then do the last minute errand, the last minute things and brush my teeth.
Well,
and all
2
that.
tablespoons added to the milk should be enough if you're drinking whole milk.
Well, it's the sheep's milk actually mostly, or the goat, depending on.
Then you probably want to put 3 tablespoons in.
So 3 tablespoons altogether
Of cream
Of
in
cream.
with the milk, yeah.
with 4 ounces of milk.
Right.
Okay. And then I put in probably a tablespoon of honey. Is that okay?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Any other advice about it? I mean, I don't know what because I don't. I want to cure it. I've elevated my bed. I've done all those things that they say to do anyway for good sleep hygiene.
My toe.
So there's nothing else.
Thank you. No, there's nothing else. Just
You just have to bide your time because it's
Yeah.
relatively new. That's what's interesting because I've been on the raw diet. I mean, I must say I'm not pure on it, but I've been on the raw diet for whatever this is, 7 years, 7, 8 years, and so.
But
I
you
know
have
that
different things detoxify at different times.
Okay.
Like I said in both books, it takes 40 years to clean everything on the perfect diet. So you're going to have different areas of your body detox at different times. and particular area depending upon what contamination is in there. Like if you have mercury and formaldehyde and aluminum
Right.
toxicity in there, it could take 10, 15 years to clean that esophagus. You have to understand, getting shot into the arm,
Right.
a lot of that poisons are going to go into the stomach and in the esophagus, around the lungs, everywhere.
So is there anything, so you're just saying the milk, should I try and do more milk during the day? I mean, if I can, or?
Yeah, I would say, but you might want to turn it into kefir first, let it sit out for a couple of days or a day until it starts thickening. Then you'll probably,
Yeah, that is supposedly easy to digest, I just don't
Yeah.
like it.
it's already bacterially digested.
Right,
So all you have to do is absorb it.
Can she put honey in that?
She did, I said.
Oh, he means in the kefir, but yeah.
Yeah, I can put on it. Well, after,
Well, as you drink, before you
Yeah.
drink it, right when you drink
yeah, before you drink it. Yeah.
Right.
After you make the kefir. Yeah.
And she can drink kefir cold, can she not?
Well, I wouldn't
Yeah.
anyway, I don't like cold.
No, you
So,
don't.
I don't drink anything cold.
I don't like anything.
So, there's no...
Except for juice. I do like vegetable juice.
I mean, if I get stuck and I just pull it right out of the refrigerator, then I put it in a metal thing with hot water in it in 5 minutes, and it just gets...
We're getting into too personal stuff for you, so we're going to have to move on.
That's fine.
Okay.
Maybe-
Do you have a question?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see. It's about teeth and bones, jaw, that kind of thing. Let's see. When I was 16, I got a crown put in here, and then it was replaced many years ago. And I don't have the money to have it. I haven't had the money to have it extracted. I think that it's got some toxic stuff in there, and I think some bone.
Does it have a root canal in it?
No,
Okay.
no root canals. And I think some bone loss around there, and I think it's affecting other teeth, and as well. And over here, I had like a what is it? You know, like a piece of a tooth missing. You know, a piece of a tooth, whatever. And that was filled in, and around that, I'm having trouble with the gums, and I'm having pains, just mild, really, honestly, mild up here, and I see change in the color of my gums, where sometimes it's even purplish.
Did you have injections to have that done?
Not this, no. I did it without anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, let's see. But I'm concerned about this loosening up, these two here, and getting looser. I'm just noticing some subtle changes there, and I want to do what I can to.
Well, you're a person who's exposed to a lot of mercury, so still that mercury is going to take most of your nutrients. So in order for you to get enough minerals and fats with those minerals into the teeth in your jaw area, you have to eat a lot of cheese and honey together 3 times a day, probably 3 tablespoons at a time, with 2 to 2.5 teaspoons of honey, followed with 2 ounces of milk each time. If you have 2 meat meals, after you finish your meat meal, make sure you're having butter with your meat. About 20-25 minutes after you finish the meat meal, have about 2 cubes of cheese, which is about a teaspoon, to absorb the poisons that are starting to dump into the stomach after the meat meal. Not from the meat, but from just toxicity that's in the intestines and stomach lining. Then 10-15 minutes after that, your cheese and honey. And follow that with 2 ounces of milk almost immediately.
Okay, now
And then middle of the night is when you have your third cheese and honey together with milk.
Okay, do I preface that with the cheese and butter by 10 minutes?
Not in the middle of the night.
Okay, and the milk. Okay, so now I'm highly lactose intolerant. I drink. I get an inflammation response and lower energy. I just feel a malaise after I drink.
You don't have lactose intolerance. You have
I don't know what it is, but
no, the mercury that went through your hands and into your stomach, the milk helps pull it out.
Well,
and then you're reacting to the mercury and the aluminum getting into your digestive tract. So whenever you have milk, you should have cheese not only before the milk, but a little grated cheese in the milk.
okay. Well, I I've gone to goat milk and I ferment it,
Mhm.
and I add honey, and I add cream, and I still have...
You add the honey when?
Before I drink it.
Okay, not to make the kefir.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Well, you're going to get too high of sugar bacteria.
So you shouldn't make kefir with honey?
Pardon?
You shouldn't make kefir with honey?
You can, but it should be a very small amount. Let's say you use a teaspoon of honey per quart. That's fine.
Okay. So it's best you leave the honey out and add it just before you
Even before you're going to drink it, yes.
So even if I have, even if I hold it in my mouth, like take some kefir,
Uh-huh.
put it in my mouth, and don't even swallow it, spit it out, I get inflamed for 3 whole days.
Because your body thinks that it's going to get that good minerals from the milk. Are you eating cheese all day long?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you were a lab technician and exposed to all that formaldehyde and mercury all day long for how many years? Pardon?
A scientist, not a
Yes.
technician.
Well,
Whatever.
okay, sorry
I
about
was
that.
dealing with chemicals.
Scientist, yes.
Get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, chemicals, yeah.
So I mean, that's stored in your stomach. It's stored everywhere. So
So that's what's causing the inflammation. It doesn't mean that
it's
the,
not an
the milk is
inflammation.
bad
That's
for me.
actual poisoning and irritation of your stomach lining
Mm-hmm.
and your intestinal lining. It's
So
not
I-
inflammation.
I should keep doing it. But my whole body swells up. Everything.
Yeah, it's because it's dumping it into the connective tissue where it's supposed to.
Would more baths help that, or
Pardon?
would more baths or something help that, or not?
That would help that, to perspire it out of the tissues, out of the connective
I
tissue.
mean, right after she
Because
had
if you're
the milk.
swelling, you're not dumping it through the skin very well. But that's why I like the cheese frequently, to force it or to encourage the body to dump it into the intestines. See, before, I understood that the body dumped 90% of its toxins out the skin. Lymphatic system dumps its waste under the skin and in the connective tissue to be perspired out of the body and to be dumped that way. But everybody eating margarine and all the other trans fatty acids, which is plastic oil, after about 6 to 9, 10 months in the body, it turns into these little balls, little beads of plastic, soft plastic. It doesn't come through the pores. They're too large when they come to clump together. So people aren't discarding it. And it's caused MS and lupus in 2% of the people on the diet at that time. Then I switched to having cucumber puree in the juice to help replace the collagen. So that eliminated that 2% of the problem. But I tell everybody to do it because it does help the connective tissue and skin. However, when I learned that, after I was poisoned, and before that, I was poisoned another time. Somebody got into my house and poisoned my milk. And so after I drank that, I started eating cheese to absorb it and collect it. And I noticed that it worked very, very well. It cut down on my nausea 90%. So that was about 6 years ago. So then I asked other people that I was seeing frequently, once a year to me is frequent. Because I don't need to see people very often on this diet. They get well, so I don't need to see them frequently. So so I decided to ask other people to eat different amounts of cheese, and all day long. And those that ate it once an hour did very, very well. Those that ate it every 45 minutes did even better. Those that did it every 30 minutes did even better. 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Whoa.
And the results were incredible. Even again, I just went to 3 cities, St. Louis and Stockton, Missouri, and then Omaha. And everybody who's diligently done the cheese every 20 to 30 minutes, the amount of detoxification is sped up like 2 to 6 years in 1 year. I mean, it's astounding. So thank God, people who can't take the hot tubs or, that aren't taking enough baths, at least I can get them to sidetrack it going out the skin and into the intestinal tract to remove it. So it's a windfall of a graduation toward health. So maybe it won't take 40 years to get well. I mean, there are some compounds in the body like mercury. Every vaccine before 1994 had 76 quadrillion molecules of mercury in every vaccine. Took 50 to 200 molecules of mercury to remove one molecule of mercury safely. 50 to 200 molecules of fat to remove one molecule of mercury safely out of the body. So that would take you 90 years if you had 6 vaccines to get rid of all the mercury. So think about that. But I've seen in the people who've been diligent, some were eating cheese every 15 minutes. And I had one fellow that his entire intestinal tract was black. And I thought, this guy's going to take a long time to get well. And he was on his way out. He was very skinny. And I saw him a year later, and his digestive tract had cleaned by 2/3. The mercury out of it from the cheese.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, this guy, and he put on the weight, which I didn't think he'd do for several years, till he got enough of the free mercury out of his intestines. It was just astonishing. So I'm learning all the time, like everybody else. So, some of the stuff you can find in my newsletters. When I do get the newsletters, I was, I don't know how many people know, I was kidnapped 3 years ago in a hotel room and injected with 3 vaccines. I have to concur that they were vaccines, the swine flu, because that's when I talked against them. And they wanted to kill me and say, see, he died of swine flu. Because on that international radio show that I went on, I said the only way you can get swine flu is if you're a pig or you get shot with the vaccine. And if you'll internet search, just say no to the vaccine song, YouTube, you come up with a song that 13 seconds into it, you hear me say, the only way you can get swine flu is to be injected with it. So they obviously grabbed me to inject me. This was, a few weeks before the swine flu was supposed to be released. And they injected me with it. I was very sick. I was passing out. I couldn't stand for more than 5 minutes without getting very dizzy. And then I had to drop to my knees and keep myself from falling and hurting myself. So I called the hotel and said I need a driver immediately. So the driver came about 45 minutes later, and I was vomiting, and skin started exploding. I mean, literally, in slow motion, my skin would just open up and start seeping. And, I mean, if I take off my shirt and show you, it looks like I had bullets go through right out the back. Small holes here, and then big holes here. And then I've got, this is the biggest one. This huge one right here. So you can see how big this was.
Wow.
Whole thing open.
Don't you think they gave you a huge dose?
Oh, they 3 of them. When I woke and caught them, there were 3 hypodermics, 1 hanging from my arm and 2 on the bed.
Wow.
So, and the cloth was falling down my face, and there were 2, looked like regular American, CIA types. And they certainly weren't Filipino, and that's where I was, in the Philippines. And the guy on my right grabbed the cloth and put it back over my mouth and nose. And I was out in a split second. I've had ether probably 5 times in my life during surgeries. And it took 17, 19 seconds to put me out. This had me out in a split second. And it was odorless. So it was high military CIA garbage. So, or somebody that had access to that kind of grade of medical chemicals. So when the driver came, I said, now I'm going to pass out a lot. You do not take me to the hospital. I need to get to a wharf. I need old shark or stingray. And that's what we're looking for. And I wasn't going to explain why. So, to him. But when fish are killed, any animal, it starts building ammonia as it ferments. Ammonia is what your blood makes in the kidneys to prevent the red white blood cells from entering the kidney. Otherwise you'd be pissing blood all day and you'd be anemic and die. So the kidney manufactures ammonia, and that keeps the red white blood cells from entering the kidney, except if they're dead. If they're alive, they won't enter the kidney because of the ammonia. If your kidney doesn't produce ammonia, you will have blood in your urine. So I knew that when you have ammonia in the blood, the red blood cells won't touch the ammonia, yet the ammonia will attach to mercury, aluminum, all kinds of poisons. So I knew that that's what I had to get. So we got to the second wharf, and there was a baby stingray that had been dead 2 days already. Mm-hmm. And they were just going to throw it out. So I think I paid $2 for this stingray this big, and chopped it up over the next 2 days and had like a quarter of a cup at a time, vomited and vomited, but I stopped passing out within about 12 hours. Yeah. So I was able to keep myself from dying, from my red blood cells from being poisoned. And but I still exploded. My skin was just leaking and exploding with this stuff for about 6 months. Every April, it would happen again at the anniversary. Right on cue, that very week, a year from that week, my skin would start exploding again. The first time, it was the right leg mainly, and my chest and back. The second year, it was mainly my left leg, chest and back. Then the third year, very little happened. I wrote about that in one of the last newsletters. I think it was in December. But then that was in September. And then when I did that other newsletter in December, I did not, or 2 newsletters around there, I did not mention it because I was going through a heavy bout with this arm. Where I got injected, this arm aches. It aches to the bone, to the skin, to the tendons, everything. It was like when I was a child, I had the same problem. I couldn't lift the arm this far without severe pain. And it goes in and out. Right now, this is as far as I can take it without a lot of pain. And so this has been going on now since October.
October
and it's
of
still
what year?
Last year. So it's been pretty heavy. Also, I've gone back into periodic autism. Can't remember what I read a minute ago, and this will go on for weeks sometimes, and then it will go off again, and then I'll be fine. So I'm lucky that I'm getting any work at all done, and I'm hoping it will end soon, so that I'm losing train of thoughts, and I haven't lost train of thoughts.
In the Philippines, which year?
It was 2009.
Was it October?
No, that was April 2009.
You were in the Philippines when this happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do they find you when you go there? It's like,
Well, I guess I was using my credit cards and my cell phone. Now I don't use them.
So you pay cash for your tickets and
I go pay cash for my tickets. Sometimes I'll buy a ticket one place and buy a ticket somewhere else.
Buy another one, just
Yeah.
to throw them off.
I'll put one on my credit card, buy them for someplace else.
And then you can cancel
Just
it
to-
after, get your money back.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that, but sometimes I don't, just to sidetrack them. Because if I have to call and do that, then they know where I am. So I do things to avoid, being seen. And I have these little sensor devices. So I've got them aimed at the windows and the door, and anybody comes in. And I have 3 concealed carry permits and laser guns and everything. So anybody comes in my room, they will be dead. No. They won't get 1 foot and 2 feet into that room, and they will be dead.
Thanks for the
So,
Yay.
I spoke against the swine flu vaccine on an international radio show. And this rap group out of UK heard that show, and they spent $1 million on that music video called Just Say No to the Vaccine. I mean, it's a very wonderful, wonderful video. It's 7 minutes and 32 seconds.
But they didn't get attacked by anybody. They had a video.
they're nobody but just a rock group, you know. So I'm somebody who can keep attacking them. And I'm the one who showed them where they could go to get the information on the swine flu vaccine from 1976, the whole hoax. I was involved in that one. And the CDC was claiming that only 60 people died as a direct result of having been injected with the swine flu vaccine. Yet, Ida Honoraff, a consumer advocate at the time, and Mary McBean, MD from San Diego, watched the polls, had people at the polls. There were 2,332 people. 3,232 people died in the first 10 days. First 10 days of the swine flu directly. So I was giving out all this information. I told them where to go and read about it, where they get the information. So that was, they had created 266 million doses. And guess how many they used all over the planet? 6 million only. 6 countries sued SmithGlassGoKline. 6 countries sued them. I was partially responsible for that failure of somewhere around, we paid $8 billion to GlaxoSmithKline, whatever it is, SmithKline, GlaxoSmithKline, just in this country for so many doses of the swine flu that all of you were going to get for free, so-called. Mm-hmm. So just in this country, I caused an uproar. But when it went international, they wanted to get me. Say, see, he died of swine flu because they injected swine flu tissue. Now, the only proof I had of that was from January through the end of April. I smelled like pork and tasted pork. No matter what I ate, I was tasting pork. And I hadn't eaten pork in like 3 months before this started, and didn't eat pork during that entire time. Yet the pork was coming out, so I could tell they had injected me with the swine flu, the pork tissue.
Pork tissue.
Wow. That's what they put in the swine flu vaccine. You know, so-called disease-degenerated porcine cells. So, I'm still having, a lot of the time I'm having focus problems, concentration problems. Enough, I can still make it through. I know exactly what to do to make it through my workshops and my few days of consults. But sitting down writing, like those of you got that email that I just wrote, that took me a freaking 24 hours. It should have taken me an hour. It took me 24 hours to write that.
It was very good, by the way.
Pardon?
It was very good.
Oh, thank you.
What do you
And the news was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you attribute your difficulty concentrating and focusing on?
The mercury and the aluminum moving in my brain.
And what's it doing? Is it causing any damage?
Well, I'm kind of afraid to check my irises to see.
Well, there can be regeneration anyway. So.
Yeah, I can regenerate.
Yeah.
I just have to keep it under control.
Okay.
And the cheese works wonderfully. Like I was going to write that email the day before, and I couldn't do it, so I ate like a pound and a half of cheese. My mind cleared, and I was able to write it, but it still went in and out.
You mean all at once?
I had to keep eating, all at once.
Oh, okay. So you're not doing the little.
Yeah, I do that, but just to clear it all at one time, I did a whole bunch. Yeah. But 3 months ago, I let myself get very fat. I went up to a 47-inch waist.
Wow.
I had never been that big in my life. I was putting my pants, I've got 3 sizes of pants. I've got my 32 pants, my 34, and my 36 size pants. My 3 were to handle my fatness. This time I went up to 47 inches. So my 36 pants were way down here, unbuttoned. Sometimes I would tie little loops around here to keep it from falling down. So, but I felt so good. The pain here was mitigated. Everything was so much better. But then I went to South Africa and Australia and then Asia, and then I dropped most of it. I'm still, I still got it here.
That's not 47 inches.
No, this is 30. This is 37 right now. That's 10 inches less.
Aajonus, would hot compresses over your head, would that be
Makes it
helpful?
worse.
Oh, it will make
Yeah,
it worse?
it heats the mercury.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
It's good for the body, but it's not good for the brain. I know the brain doesn't like to get hot anyway.
Right, that's why it doesn't like to get hot.
Okay.
A lot of metals, most of your metals store in the bone marrow and brain. And most of them that I see, the iris I see, it's in the brain. A lot more than the bone marrow. So the brain doesn't like to get hot because then the mercury vapors start destroying it. If anybody's seen that YouTube video from Calgary University,
With the teeth?
no, it's about that, but it's not about the teeth directly. It's not the vapors you're seeing. But if you put mercury neurons, Calgary University, you'll get the one where they show how the neurons grow in this petri dish.
Okay.
And they have snail brains, and all brains, all neurons are identical in growth from snails to humans, but all animal and creature brains all grow identical. It's the only thing that's identical in every species. And they take this mercury and they drop it in this petri dish. Now you've got the neurons growing here. They drop the mercury in over here and it just disintegrates. You just see brain cells just disintegrate. And the mercury isn't even in direct contact. So when the brain gets heated, the vapors start moving and destroying brain cells. So that's why I say you put a cold thing on top of your head if you get heat prostration. Dip your hands in it, you get cold to the bone all the way up to the skull. And that'll chill the brain a little bit. So you don't have that reaction.
So will the hot bath still help with the mercury?
Oh yeah, it helps remove it everywhere else. But it doesn't have that kind of damage to the rest of the body. It can to nerve cells as well. But to neurons it's the worst.
So on the cheese, is it just straight cheese, or can you have tomato with it, or some moisturizing thing?
You can have butter with it only. Anything else, you're going to end up digesting your cheese and recycling your poisons.
Okay.
I was curious. I'm like probably many of you, a cheesehead, so I'm eating the cheese constantly. I was just curious. I understand that detoxification is a blessing, and as is diarrhea. And then, how long does this blessing go on before I start to tweak?
It's different people. Yeah. I had one fellow that had diarrhea for 2.5 years.
Okay.
He went from white, unable to do anything. After that 2.5 years, he was all buffed, got a new house, all of his work increased, and he was flushed, red, and handsome. Got a Jaguar. I mean, but he endured it every day for 2.5 years.
Jeez.
But he said it was worth it because it just transformed his whole life.
Right.
He didn't have to deal with those toxins every day because they were dumping.
Right. And that's clearly what's happening, in my case. It just became more severe.
Then you have to eat more cheese to dry it up. So it just doesn't, yeah.
What does that mean?
More cheese.
What does that mean, more cheese? 6 tablespoons every 15 minutes?
Sure. No, I've never had anybody have to take that much. Usually people just take a half a teaspoon every 20 minutes to 30 minutes.
Sugar cubes.
Sugar cubes is a half a teaspoon.
Oh, is that half a teaspoon?
Yeah. But you could take 6 an hour, 7 an hour, 8 an hour if you want. You could have 2 at a time every 15 minutes. That would be 4 times an hour, and then so that would be 8. That would be 4 teaspoons an hour.
Right.
8 half teaspoons.
So
I've done even more than that at times. After this, when I got injected, I was eating a tablespoon every 20 minutes.
So I just don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Keep going, absolutely. You look so much better. I mean, I never used to see people advance this fast, because he's new on it, advance this fast without cheese.
Well, he told me the story about the gentleman he brought up earlier, and that really was such a motivation for me. So I've been really, because he gave a minimum to this gentleman, and it's okay, but this guy went further. He ate more. So I took that cue as I'd eat more.
You can eat as much as you want.
I've been, pounding the cheese. I enjoy it. I've been doing it that. I'm on my 7th month, but the first 6 months I think I ate up just about 130 pounds of cheese. And I like to tell my family that because I'm like, I ate a human being worth of cheese.
Sometimes I'll go through 5 pounds a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And since these injections, raw no salt cheese, it doesn't matter what flavor.
Or with the consistency, whether it's the thick stuff or the thin stuff.
I noticed that when I had the rye, let me say this, I noticed that when I had the rye cheese, I got lazier. I got more interested in having fun.
What's rye cheese?
They put rye seeds in it. Yeah, caraway.
Oh, I see.
You eat less of that, you said?
No, it made me want to screw work and enjoy myself. Made me want to watch movies and listen to music. So I stopped eating that.
It doesn't matter whether it's the soft cheese or the hard cheese.
It does not matter.
Okay.
If it's cottage cheese, you need to let it dry more. Then you get it from the farmer. It's a little too soft. Just remember, any soft cheese has a certain amount of enzymes in it. You do not want to digest the cheese. You want the cheese to absorb the poisons and get out of the body. Any food that is dehydrated has no bioactive enzymes in it. Without the bioactive enzymes, that means your bacteria makes the bioactive enzymes. Everything is based on bacteria, but science will not tell you that because they want you to be afraid of bacteria. Everything is done via bacteria. Everything. Enzymes. If you don't have bacteria, there's no bioactive enzymes. If the bacteria dies in the food by dehydration, so do the enzymes. Not die. Enzymes don't die. They're a structure. But they are not active. They will not. It's like lemon. You can marinate, fish and chicken in lemon. If you were to neutralize that, dry it, rehydrate it, and put it on your fish and chicken, it would no longer do that. Because first the bacteria was destroyed to make the enzymes. You dehydrated both of them. Without the enzymes, you don't digest your vitamins at all. So if you don't want to digest that food, that cheese, it has to be dry enough to where all the enzymes are dead. So you get the cottage cheese very wet. You need to leave it out for an hour or 2 hours. Flattened on a plate and then eat it. Okay?
How long should you wait? Let's say you're doing the cheese before you do a sip of milk or a sport formula, like you're doing the cheese every 20 minutes, let's say. But you also want us to be sipping milk because it's hot, or drinking sport formula. How much time
cheese,
between?
10 minutes, you have a sip. 5 minutes, you can have cheese again.
Okay.
But it's sipping the milk. It's not guzzling it.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. I've been yes. I'm familiar with how you classify types of meat and when to. Red meat if you have high alkalinity, white meat if you have high acidity, or if you have a balance, a little of both. So my question is, what do you determine that I should eat in terms of how much of what type of meat?
Well, I would say that you would do, because you have a tendency to be hyper inside. You've disciplined it because of your father for all the years, that I've known you. I met Lewis in 1978 at Antilles Health Food Store. So he's gone off and on the diet, went into vegetarian for almost 10 years, something like that. Off and on. Played with it for that 10-year period. So he's gone off and on, but you see he comes back to it because, just like me, I know it works, so I'm not going to go off of it. That's why I'm so disciplined. I don't like to sacrifice my time or my energy. So anyway, when I met him, he had a very difficult time with saying sentences, simple sentence, because he was so rigid inside. That's a sign of great acidity in the body. He still has some of that in his system. I'm hoping that now with this new cheese regime, that if he will do it frequently enough, that we can pull it out of the body with this. Because I haven't been able to move it in all of these years. Enough of it. A lot of it, but not enough of it. As far as meat-wise, the acidity makes you more irritable and makes you more anxious. If you're an athlete, you don't want to neutralize that acidity. You need that acidity. But if you're a person, he's a massage therapist, so he does get exercise, but it depends upon how much exercise. On the day when you're doing your massage, eat red meat, or the day before. And then on that day and the other days when you're not doing massage, then eat white meats. Okay? I just want to explain it so he understands why and what to do when.
Thank you.
Okay? Do you have a question?
Yeah, a couple.
I just caught you when you were sipping.
Two quick ones. What is your opinion on those store-bought kombucha drinks?
Kombucha is made with boiled sugar.
Okay.
They boil the sugar, and you have to understand mycelium. Mycelium is the mother of mushroom. Mycelium is a milky substance which eats dead roots. That's all it eats is dead roots. Like we have certain bacteria that eats dead cells. They call those pathogenic, but they aren't pathogens. Salmonella and all those, they eat dead cells. So the bacteria is eating dead cells, so that's not an issue, not a problem.
Okay. And then also I wanted to know, when I buy my meat, it comes vacuum sealed in like a plastic vacuum seal. I was wondering, and it usually takes me about a week and a half to eat it all. How should I be storing that?
What I do is I get my big clumps of meat once a week. And I get them on Saturday. Then on Sunday I take that. I've got 7 pounds, 1 pound for 1 pound a day, sometimes a little bit more. And I cut it on Sunday morning. I cut it into cubes. I take my 2-quart Cuisinart food processor. I fill it up just a little above the second blade level, and I grind that, and I pate it. Then I put it, when I take that out of the plastic, I scrape the outside with a flat-bladed knife, a large, flat-bladed butcher knife. Scrape all of that tissue that would have come into contact with the plastic, and maybe some of the phthalates would have leaked into it. So, and the polymers. So that will take care of that meat. So I scrape it off. By the time I finish scraping 7 pounds of meat, I have about 1.5 ounces of meat that I'm throwing away. But it's scraped and, so it's all granular from scraping it like that. And a pretty sharp knife. But I do it flat. I don't cut it this way.
So I shouldn't be keeping it in those plastic wraps the whole week?
Not a good idea. Okay. Yeah. So then I stick it in 2-cup jelly jars, packed. They're 2-cup jars. They're supposed to be 16 ounces or actually 18 ounces. Well, I put it up to about 17 ounces, so it's just a little over 1 pound by weight. And I have all 7 of those, so I don't have to prepare any meats for the week. They're already prepared. This morning, I had some meat to share with everybody, but I got stuck in traffic on the freeway, so I pulled it out and ate it all. And it was patéed meat with this great sour cream and diced onions, finely diced onions. Absolutely, I couldn't stop eating it, so
How
I
can
ate
you have
it all
sour
by.
cream? How
I
can you have
had the
sour
last.
cream with red meat? Aren't you not supposed to not have?
No, it's fresh cream. Sour cream is fine. Fresh cream is difficult to digest. It'll keep you from digesting the meat. Sour cream, like yogurt and kefir, is pre-digested. So there's no trouble having sour cream and chives or...
What about milk?
Pardon?
What about milk?
To have with meat?
Yeah.
And the meat meal, not a good idea. I wait. Well, I'll have one mouth, about a tablespoon and a half in my mouth. I rinse my mouth, I swallow it, and then I rinse it with another tablespoon. So I have maybe 2.5 tablespoons. So that's 1.5 ounces of milk. Immediately after my meat meal, or within 5 minutes after my meat meal. But then I wait for about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes before I have more. And I don't drink a lot at a time after that.
Why is that?
Because it'll catch up and slow down the digestion of the meat.
Oh my God.
So usually after an hour and a half, that meat's far enough along that if you drank a half a cup of milk, it's not going to interfere with the digestion of that meat. I'm talking about fine tuning. You guys don't have to do everything as meticulously as I do, but I like to do what brings me optimal, functionality.
Do you make sour cream the same as you do kefir?
Pardon?
Do you make sour cream the same way you do kefir?
No, I don't. I really don't. I've tried to make it that way, and it takes me months to make it like that. So, but the Amish can do it, in like 2 days or 3 days. So, I'm going to go the next time I go to the Amish farm. I am going to learn how they make it. I keep forgetting to ask.
You have sour cream with meat. Fine.
Excellent. Yes.
I just made 3 pints by accident because my fridge conked out for 3 days.
What about yogurt with milk?
There you go.
Yogurt.
Yeah.
What about yogurt with milk? Is that the same thing as milk?
Yogurt with
You
milk?
buy yogurt milk.
You mean yogurt milk with your meat?
Yeah.
It's too liquid. You're supposed to have a fat with your meat, not a liquid with your meat.
Well, along with the lube formula.
Why would you have milk in your lube formula?
Not milk in a separate. You have a lube formula and then you have a yogurt milk.
Not with a meat meal. You just have the lubrication formula with a meat meal. Yes.
Aajonus, so with regards to the pharmaceuticals and...
Oh, if you're getting into something else other than what we're discussing.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're going around. Okay, do you have a question? I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Julie.
Julie.
Yeah.
Okay, Julie.
Okay. Well, actually, I do. On the protocol, which is going well. Sometimes at night I get so exhausted that I miss my. It's like a choice between do I do vegetable juice or do I do meat? Because both of them aren't going to happen because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
In that case, what should one choose?
I would say if the next day, if you had vegetable juice and you have no energy, then I would do the meat meal. And maybe have the vegetable juice in the middle of the night with an egg and some cream.
Okay.
Cheese, vegetable juice, egg, and cream in the middle of the night. Okay?
Thank you.
Do you have a question?
I asked it, but if I come up with another one, I'll...
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, when you ask a question in relationship to the subject I'm talking about, that is not your question.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. Do you have a question?
You brought up root canals, so I kind of wanted to go there, and then I was wondering what you think about cold sores or canker sores. I don't know what the difference is, but...
Well, it's just poisons coming out the skin.
Okay.
Now, most of your abscesses, most of your mouth sores, your tongue sores are from dental injections.
Well, they might be connected then.
Yeah. So when you get an injection, that Novocaine or Xylocaine or whichever one they've injected into you has a tendency to go into the bone and harden the bone. I've found that when I've done had tumors of the mouth and throat and jaws checked. Of the probably 12 that I've done, 11 of them came up with dental toxicity, dental waste from the xylocaine or novocaine in those tumors. So you can see it was part of that. One time I had so much pus coming out on abscess. One time I had the pus checked. Sure enough, when I got mugged in Bangkok with that hammer or that crowbar, whatever it was, and knocked these 3 teeth in the bone under my tongue to get my camera.
Why did they do that?
They wanted my camera. So, my movie camera. So I went to the dentist. There were no dentists on during the day, so I had to wait till 1 o'clock the next day to get to a dentist. So all night I've got this bone with the 3 teeth in the bone under my tongue. Rather painful. So I got to the dentist and they wanted to just cut it all out. They said, there's no way you will recover. That bone, and that was a bone all the way down to here, so it's this much bone and all my 3 of my small teeth here. And they said there's no way it will go into necrosis. It's completely, disconnected from the bone. It's completely broken off. And only your gum is holding it in your mouth. And I said, it's okay. Put it back into place. If it rots and falls out, I'll have it cut out. But right now we're going to give it a go and see what happens. So I let them inject me because it was so painful already. They were going to take that and work it in. They had to really work it back. They had to pull it back from the tongue and then work it down in to where the bone touched bone.
What about acupuncture?
Took an hour. Took an hour to get it back in there. Pardon?
Acupuncture for that.
It didn't work. I tried it first. So, in Thailand they have a lot of acupuncture. So it didn't work for me. I wish it had. But when you've got 3 people, working on putting it back in place, it was very painful. Very painful. An hour. And they would work on it like whole 6 minutes at a time. They'll be working on it, a little at a time, bringing it back in, because they don't want to tear the gum. So they were doing it meticulously, but 5-6 minutes at a time. And then they would give me a 2-3 minute break and then go right back to it.
So did they put replacement teeth in, or the teeth were still all intact?
The teeth were in the bone and in the gum still.
Mm-hmm. So if we've had fake teeth put in, and there's that silver nail, I don't know what it is.
Post, yeah.
Yeah, that they put in there. I say silver, but I'm sure it's not made out of silver.
No, it's
titanium.
Titanium. They have a new compound that's very much like bone, and they screw that in. That works a little bit better. A lot of people have been having problems with the titanium
What do you
the
call
last
it?
few years.
Zirconium.
Pardon?
Zirconium.
Zirconium, is that what they call it? Zirconium.
Yeah, like stuff they make.
It's something like bone.
It's a ceramic.
Yeah, it's similar, yeah.
Right.
But there's one that isn't even fired as high as ceramic. It's more like, it's not fired as high, so it's more porous.
Well, what do they call that?
I don't remember. It's new. Anyway, injections cause a lot of problems. Let me tell you, I didn't have any problems with my teeth until I got those injections. Then I was getting abscesses like crazy for 2 years. Then they ceased. And then when I got these injections, I've had 6 teeth fall out in 3 years. I've lost 6 teeth in 3 years because of these injections.
You can't replace the teeth?
Pardon?
You can't replace them?
Well, I'm hoping that one man in Thailand, 90-year-old man, grew a whole 3rd set of teeth at 90 years old. Documented. So.
He has 3 teeth that came back?
All of his teeth grew back. Every tooth grew back at 90 years old.
Yeah, what did he do?
He was a oyster fisherman, so he ate raw oysters every day.
Wow.
So I think that had something to do with it. He was of the northern Thai tribes who ate a lot of raw meats. So, I had one woman, Ta. She's one that runs Thai Organics with her boyfriend Scott, who's American, and she went on the diet about 52 years old, and she was really wrinkled and old looking and not real strong. And then when she got onto this diet, it's like what she had as a child. So within 2 years, she just blossomed. So she lost she looked like she was maybe 70-some years old. Now she looks like she's about 40, and she's 60 now. So, and she's, she goes around in her garden, picks out these Japanese beetles, and eats them all day long as candy.
Oh my God.
But that's what they do there. They eat all kinds of insects,
I was going to ask you about that, insects.
Yeah.
What do you recommend with that?
Eat anyone you want. They mainly taste like what they're eating.
Yeah.
If you're eating a fly and a fly's been eating meat, it's going to taste like meat. If the maggot's been eating meat, it's going to taste like meat. If you get a worm out of a corn, and I only buy corn that has worms in them at the tops. And I have one of my roommates was a Peruvian jungle girl, and she loved them. She'd take my, the worm off. I only got them with a worm in it because I knew they were organic. The worm was eating it was organic. And she would take the worm and pop it. And I just got jealous. I said, wait a minute. Let me have my own worms. They tasted like corn. And grasshoppers taste like what kind of grass they're eating. So, yeah.
Aren't they crunchy?
Yeah.
They are.
So it depends upon the shell.
The corn you don't find it, even if it's organic. I don't see it now.
They have it.
Well, they have it once in a while.
Once in a while, yeah.
It doesn't make sense that corn would stay organic if the GMOs pollinate with the wind, right?
Yeah, but your worms won't eat that stuff. They die very quickly. You won't find a live worm in there. You'll find a skinny little shriveled worm that's dead. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Yes. Let me go back to the diarrhea question. What?
Everybody like diarrhea?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Okay, so I'm not opposed to that, but what about the explosive diarrheas? Those are pretty intense and they're very inconvenient.
Yeah, but if you have enough cheese, you won't have the gas form. That happens when you have
gas? Is that what's causing it?
That's gas. That's when the poisons are mixing with your digestive bacteria. It creates a gas.
Okay.
If you're eating enough cheese, that poison is going to be absorbed into the cheese, and it's not going to affect the bacteria.
Well, I thought I was eating a lot of cheese, but obviously I'm not.
Well, then you have to eat it with your food too. Some people have to actually eat some with their food.
Oh, no,
Like some people are so toxic in their intestines, I say, even with your meat, you're going to have to grate a little cheese and have just a little bit of cheese throughout the meat.
Well, I noticed you said have cheese with your milk, grated cheese in your milk. I've never heard that.
You have it with everything. If you have gas, you have it with everything. A little bit of cheese with everything.
Okay. And that's not with the honey. Now you have cheese and butter, right?
Cheese and honey will never cause gas. Because your body doesn't have to rely upon enzymes to react with bacteria to digest it.
Okay.
The honey acts as your enzymatic.
So I have a problem with the honey, too much honey, too. It makes me like milk. Too much sugar. So if you do less, you're talking about 2.5.
Do less. Yeah, just do less. But if you're having 2 tablespoons of cheese and only 2 teaspoons of honey, and you're mashing the cheese together and mixing it in your mouth before you swallow it, you're never going to have that reaction.
I wasn't doing it. You're right.
So the gas is from not eating enough of the cheese?
Yeah, what it is, it's from your digestive juices mixing with the poisons that are dumping into your stomach and intestines.
Okay.
That creates gas. Okay? If the cheese is in there absorbing the poisons, they're not going to mix with the enzymes and your bacteria. So you're not going to have gas from it.
And as you, in different stages of detoxification, you can have stages that are more intense, obviously, than
Absolutely.
other times.
Depending on what you're dumping.
Right, okay.
Let's say you're dumping sodium. You're going to have explosive diarrhea even if you eat enough cheese.
Okay.
Because sodium is an explosive. Period. I don't know how many I've told this before. My father worked for General Electric. He invented the first bearing computer when he was in college at Purdue. That's how smart he was. He was emotionally completely retarded, but as far as inventions, he was a genius. So he was part of the team that worked for General Electric that was going to make sodium into a bomb, a weapon. One concentrated crystal of sodium as big as a football will take out all of New York City. That's about worth a 500-pound hydrogen bomb.
Wow.
And you're talking about a 5 to 7 pound brick of pure sodium. But it's so volatile that when in a form to be used as a weapon, as a bomb, or as a bullet, any kind of explosive, just a temperature change of 1.5 degrees could set it off. So thank God they couldn't control it, because it would be a very bad bomb. And any terrorist that tried to make a bomb of it would not make it. Anywhere, they'd blow up right in his house. So, General Electric got $2 billion for that. $2 billion to make it into a bomb. Couldn't do it. Not even $2 billion could make it into a bomb. So, sodium, when it's isolated, is an explosive. That's why you will never find sodium unless it's combined with potassium, fluoride, magnesium, something. Like in most of your water softener systems, you have saltpeter, sodium chloride. Saltpeter. You know? And people have saltpeter. And that's what they gave soldiers, back in the Civil War and all the way up through World War I, and even in World War II, to stop them from having sexual desire.
Oh, really? Yeah. They need to have it put back into the military.
Pardon?
They need to have it put back into the military for men now.
Dave, you've done it again?
No,
she's saying it.
That's a political comment.
Yeah, with the rapings that's going on. Yeah. It did work, from what I hear.
But it was toxic on their body, though.
Pardon?
It was toxic in their body.
Of course it's toxic. If it damages your hormone system, if it's robbing your hormones, because that's what it does. It poisons your system, so your body uses your hormones, which are 60 to 80% fat, to bind with this poison. So then you have the hormone for sexual activity.
Well, my mom told me that when she was during the Second World War, the American guys wanted to have sex with the girls. So, hey, just a little joke. That's all. Well, whatever. It's just a joke.
So that's why you say no salt in your diet. I mean, no salt at all.
Correct. It's an explosive. It'll just, when it gets into your blood does fractionate it.
Right.
Because it's salt, it's rock. It's not in a food. If it's in a food and it's in a proper combination with vitamins and enzymes and proteins and fats and everything else, it's a nutrient. Once it's isolated, it's an explosive. So it just starts exploding in your blood. Then these smorgasbords that your cells are supposed to eat, and you've got 93 to 117 nutrients in these smorgasbords. And that's a complete diet. When a cell opens to eat, it draws the whole thing in and it eats. But let's say the cell's this big, the smorgasbord is as big as my fist. Sometimes twice that big. But it gets into the cell gets a balanced diet. When salt is in your diet, it explodes. And these smorgasbords break up. 2, 3, 4 parts. So then when a cell eats, it's getting a fraction of the diet it should get. And it is always malnourished.
Do you see the same thing with that salt that grows in caves? The
Any salt, it's rock.
Mm-hmm.
It is rock. We don't eat rock. Go put, even though plants eat rock, go put salt out in the lawn and see what happens. You'll kill your trees, you'll kill your bushes, you kill everything.
So what's the difference between that and putting it in your bath?
It's very different because you've got oil in you, you've also got milk in the water, you've got vinegar.
Okay.
It's not going to damage your skin. It's just going to start, taking care of the toxins in the water.
Oh, okay.
And also help draw sodium out of the body. Okay, do you have a question?
Yes. When you have this recipe which has blueberries and coconut cream and dairy cream for removing metals, then my question is, do the blueberries need to be fresh, or if they've been sitting in my fridge for a few months?
A few months is even better.
They're a bit rotten. Does it still have the effect of removing metals?
It'll even have more.
Okay. And
Let me give you an example. I have got probably 9 autistic children. And they're all doing very well. They're out of their head. They're not. 3 of them were completely like this. Now they're feeding themselves. One of them still isn't talking. She's 12 years old now, but and she only does the diet 50% because she lives on an island, Antigua, and the food has to be shipped from Amos Miller in Pennsylvania all the way to Aruba. So you know how expensive it is. So she doesn't get all the food she needs, but she's functional. She doesn't have to be held all the time because she was like this. And that was her whole life, 24 hours a day. So she had to have constant care. Now she sits on herself, sits by herself, she feeds herself, everything but doesn't talk. Well, I just got an email from a woman in Sweden who she brought a 6-year-old, not personally to me, but when I was in Finland, she brought her over to me while I was doing consults in Finland. And this child was 3 years old, and he didn't move like this, but he was, and that's all he moved. And she just emailed me because the doctors wanted to do tests on the child again, and all of the tests, the chemistry test, came back the same when he was first brought to me. The same. All this bad stuff. Yet the kid is in school, excellent grades, talks, and is in perfect health.
Wow.
So she's saying, why does he have all these bad tests? And I said, you have to understand, like I said in Appendix D of my book, when I worked with the polio patient, unless the poliomyelitis showed up in his blood, she didn't get well. As long as it was high in the blood and she was doing the diet, she got well. So you have to understand that it's just the opposite of what the doctors say. But what the pharmaceutical industry is trying to do is if you have these tests, you have to take this medication, these antibiotics. So then the kid stays sick, and they make tons of money the whole child's life because they will stay like this their whole lives. This child is now well, 100%. She says there's not a thing that's autistic about him anymore. But I was very concerned about these tests, and I said, why? He's well. So why do those stupid tests mean anything?
Yeah.
If they're not showing this help, if they're not interpreting it as this child is now a healthy child when he was a vegetable 3 years ago, how can the doctors look at the test instead of the boy?
Yeah.
When a doctor goes into a hospital room, he doesn't look at you. He looks at this chart with chemistry.
Right. That's right.
He doesn't pay any attention to you.
That's right.
Or she.
Doesn't know what to look for.
They're trained to chemistry.
Yeah. They don't.
And that's to all push the pharmaceutical chemistry.
Did they get autistic from the vaccines or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they do.
Yep.
That's
All of the children that I work with were autistic off of vaccines. I was autistic off of tetanus shot, my third, 18 months old. And then after my third polio vaccine, I got diabetes and angina pectoris within days after that one. So pretty bad. Your question answered sufficiently or not?
Yes, but maybe just a related question. Same with pineapple for lymphatic congestion. If it's been sitting in the fridge for 6 months,
doesn't matter.
It still works.
Just remember, raw food never putrefies.
Wow.
It only pre-digests, even if it's melted. But don't have that food if it's in plastic in that shape. If it's been in plastic, don't eat it.
So, yeah, you put it in glass, but...
You put it in glass, yeah.
But, so, because I always thought you'd wanted us to eat fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, not having it been sitting around for a long time, so now I'm a little confused.
No, what I said is I don't like too ripe, too much sugar in it.
That's right, too ripe.
Okay? When you have unripe fruit and you have it in the refrigerator, it's not going to get more sugar.
Okay.
It'll start fermenting a bit. You'll get more of the sugar broken down into alcohols, but you don't get more sugar from
Should you put bananas in the refrigerator, too, when you get them?
You can, but it's a melon, not a good thing to put in the refrigerator.
To keep them, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oranges are the same.
Pardon?
Oranges.
Orange is not a melon.
No, I know, but you can put an orange in the refrigerator.
Yeah, you can put an orange in the refrigerator.
The raspberries get this white, hairy
mold, fungus.
Oh,
That's what I was getting to.
That's what he
okay.
That's what
This child was the only one that progressed that fast, became normal in 3 years. And I said, I need to know everything you're doing just to see if there's a change that other parents don't do for their kids. And she said, like you said in your book, I give them moldy raspberries, and you told me to give them one moldy raspberry a day. She says, I've done that every day. You know, at least 360 days a year, 365 days, out of 65 days. I give him a moldy raspberry.
Just one? I eat the whole thing.
Just one.
One a day. Child.
We all do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
How do you mold it?
Just let it sit in the refrigerator.
It take very long.
Doesn't take long.
Hold on, everybody.
If it's not molding, it's not organic.
It's true.
When you say moldy, you're not talking about the white hairy stuff. You're talking about it turning
black.
Well, what if the berry itself turns,
into a liquid?
Yeah.
This completely pre-digested. The mycelium has broken it down. The hairy, the white stuff, they're the mushroom of the mycelium.
Oh.
The mushroom is your spore. It's your sex. It's your flower of the mycelium.
So you can eat the whole thing?
Yeah. Juice and all. It's good for you. It'll take the vaccine toxicity, help you remove it.
Can you have it in the middle of the night with honey to sleep better?
I wouldn't do that in the middle of the night. I would have it at lunchtime.
In place of a fruit meal, or do you take it at the same time?
It's a fruit meal. No, you have it as part of your fruit meal.
Oh, you can't. You can have that and a fruit meal.
Have that in your fruit meal. Put 3 or 4 moldy berries with your fruit meal.
In the vaccine formula, I do it. I put it in. Blend it.
I'm saying you don't have to put it in the vaccine formula. You can just put the berries with your fruit meal.
But how if you want a vaccine formula? Would you put that?
Then you'll use a lot of moldy berries. But like I said in the book, you may end up with chronic fatigue for up to 6 months to a year, and then you won't be able to function.
Not in the vaccine formula, in a separate fruit meal.
Yeah, no, in the same, if you're going to do a vaccine formula, that's a risk, like I said in the book. It's a risk that you'll get chronic fatigue. So if you want to have just a few berries and not the vaccine formula, you have 2 or 3 berries with your fruit meal.
I think she's talking about
How do you bake it molded?
Formula with lemon juice, lime juice.
No, that's
what she's talking about.
that's not a vaccine formula.
No, I'm talking about with the coconut cream, the blackberries, the coconut, the cow's cream,
That helps get rid of metals. That's not necessarily a vaccine removal.
You can put that with that then.
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Well, you told
But no
me
more
that's
than 3 or 4. I would say 3 moldy berries.
But you told me that's a vaccine formula.
Mercury.
With the
No,
lime, the lemon.
I said it'll help
and the egg.
remove. I said it'll help remove some vaccine toxicity because you got a lot of metals in vaccine toxicity.
That's right. But how do you get the berries molded?
You just let them sit in a jar in the refrigerator.
A loose jar?
No, you put it on tightly and just leave it in the refrigerator and it'll develop mold.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually within 3 weeks.
So it's
Oh,
not even that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's much quicker than that.
I wish. Mine doesn't.
Which is better?
Mine doesn't grow
raspberries
that
or
fast.
blueberries?
Yeah.
Which are better, raspberries or blueberries? It doesn't matter the berry, red or blue.
It depends on what vaccine. If you had a lot of, let's say, tetanus, the dark berries are more important. If you've had, let's say, more antibiotics like penicillin injections with mercury in it, then the red berries would be better. Blueberries are the best to remove anything. And blueberries and raspberries. They work the best, at least from my experiments. Was your question answered, Dan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, terrific. Do you have a question?
Well, I have a couple.
One will do.
One. You decide. A few weeks ago in our area, which is Boyle Heights, and then also was Commerce, Vernon, and those areas in East LA, we all got a notice that there was a plant that is a car battery recycling plant. They recycled 40,000 a day since 2000 in Vernon. That's about 40 blocks away from me. I'm kind of on the periphery. My granddaughter actually works in Commerce, which is in the middle. And they said that the lead and the arsenic that's being released into the air, as well as their pipes are broken into groundwater, was bad. And so the Orange County, not the Orange County, the South, what do you call it, that agency?
Air quality.
Air quality, yeah. They put that out. They shut the plant down temporarily until they come up with a plan for the arsenic. They say they pretty much handled the lead by putting doors and filters and stuff on the plant. And it's hard to understand. I've gone to a couple of meetings, and it's hard to understand what's really going on. And they'll probably start up the plant again before too long when they get their plant going to get rid of the
Are
arsenic.
you north or south of the plant?
North? and
Okay,
that's
then
where
you
it
don't have to
flows.
worry because the water flows this way.
Oh, but it's mostly
Saugus,
in the air.
we get our water from Saugus. Saugus delivers the water to, so they use it first. The valley uses it second. All that industry, all that shit that everybody uses in the valley gets into our water, and we use that water. We're the third use of that water here in LA.
Is that better?
Yeah.
No.
So there's 192 toxins the last time I had the water
193?
tested. 192 toxins in LA water.
Well, they said that it's in the
A
air.
lot of
so
people drink it.
It's the wind that blows it north from Vernon up to these other places that blows it that way. So
If they're smelting it, if they're running it in the
They're
water
smelting
into the
it.
ground.
They're
no.
smelting it.
Yeah.
So they have both groundwater from their pipes
Yeah.
and also in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm more concerned in the air.
Very toxic.
Yeah, we have the same.
So I'm wondering, it's hard to say how dangerous it is. And I wondered if you said you had hair analysis from your poisoning. I was wondering if a hair analysis would be good to get to see if you have more lead and arsenic.
Well, you can, definitely check your hair.
So do you have a particular place that you recommend for that?
Well, doctor's data where I had mine done, but you have to have a doctor. So there's a chiropractor in Florida, which has them on his website that sells them cheaper than anywhere else, and I forgot his name. But anyway, you go online, you buy his kit, they'll mail it to you, you send it in, the doctor's data sends it directly to you or emails it to you, however you want to receive it.
So if I Google doctor's data,
No.
I know that.
You say hair analysis kit.
Marilyn says she has the answer.
Yes, okay. Hair analysis kit. Put hair analysis kit Florida, and then you come up with that chiropractor's name.
Right.
And you just right there, order it online. They'll mail it to you. Tells you how to collect your hair, how much. Put it in there and send it off.
Excellent.
Now each.
I'm going to do that because it's so hard to tell what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they really don't.
Yeah.
They don't want the scientists are really in charge.
South Coast air quality, yeah.
Yeah, the scientists are really involved. Don't want to say because then it just opens up lawsuits and it upsets people, so they don't ever tell the truth.
Yeah.
But it depends upon how fast your hair grows. My hair grows an inch a month. My nails grow about an eighth of an inch a month. So I have to cut, frequently. And so if I cut off an inch of hair and send it in, I know that's just for that last month. If I want 3 months' time, I'll take out 3 inches of my hair. Depending on how long your hair is, you'll know how much time is involved by the length of hair that you put in there.
Yeah.
But then they don't know what the most recent
They
is.
shut them down about a month ago, so I need more,
So you get the new hair you just cut off, or don't cut that too far, inch from your scalp, and then take that hair and have it handled. Of course, if they shut it down a month ago, you still may be discarding what you inhaled.
Right.
For that last
absolutely.
month.
That's why I went earlier. It's been years. Yeah. Okay, so
That'll tell you your level. That'll only tell you the level of what you're throwing out into the hair. Doesn't mean what's into the blood, what's in the neurological fluids or urine.
I just want to know if it's a really serious threat 40 blocks away. Should I move,
If they shut it down,
Tough.
it's kind of late.
Well, yeah. Well, I wonder, yeah, that's true, but they're probably going to let them start again.
Yeah, they're going to let them.
They're only shut down until they come up with their plan for the arsenic.
Well, they need to filter the smelting fumes,
Right.
so the lead doesn't
That's the
carry
plan
in
they're
the air.
supposed to be drawing up.
Yeah.
Aajonus, where I live, we have oil and gas, and they have refineries. They're about 4 miles away from where I live. So
If your wind blows your way, you're in trouble.
Well, okay.
On Aruba, I investigated that area around there at the south part of the island where they have a oil refinery plant. And that refines oil for Venezuela and for a lot of the other, that little island of Aruba handles a lot of toxicity. There was a 36% brain cancer rate. 36%.
So much
in
for
all
that.
the surrounding area that was within a quarter of a mile.
So much for a vacation destination. You don't want
Well,
to
you're on the
vacation.
north side of the
North side
island.
for vacation.
The vacation area is on the north side of the island. So.
Is there any particular thing for lead and arsenic other than what you've
The
already said for all
berries
of
and the
that?
coconut cream, all the same
Yeah,
stuff.
it's all the same
Cilantro.
Cilantro too. Can I ask about the fish? I don't know where to get fish.
Next
Fish you
I
can
love
buy.
maki, but I haven't eaten it in 2 years since the Japanese.
Fukushima. Yeah. Well, all of the tuna was checked in April of 2011, and every bit of it had the same isotopes that were being relieved. That was tuna caught in California, all the way from Baja up to Alaska. Below Baja didn't show up.
What about Fiji?
Fiji's okay.
Okay, good. 'Cause that
Well,
gets-
no, your current is coming down, sweeps around Hawaii, and then comes up this way to Baja.
Right.
And it affects all the way up to Alaska.
Where do you get Fiji tuna? I haven't seen any.
Whole Foods.
Oh, you get it from Whole Foods?
But anything from Baja all the way down to Chile is fine. Anything on the East Coast, anything from North Carolina all the way up to Nova Scotia is fine, New England area. Anything from Brazil down to Argentina. Nothing from Venezuela or any of those eastern South American countries.
What about Alaskan salmon? They can't get it, right?
The Alaskan salmon all salmon in the world has already been GMO screwed up.
Do you know? It's interesting. I used to eat the salmon from Whole Foods, and this year I started eating it. I got so sick, I couldn't stand it. And I was like,
I started
"What
that
is
6
wrong?"
years ago. I haven't eaten in 6 years for that reason.
Oh my God! So where do you get your salmon? Where do you
I
get
don't eat salmon anymore.
Oh. Okay.
Because when I did some investigation, I found out that Monsanto's GMO salmon,
Okay.
they only had the fences above the water level this high. At least 2,000 of those genetically modified salmon were escaping a year. For 28 years, 29 years now.
Okay.
So all of
It's the whole world's that
So
way.
what
I
do
haven't been able to eat a drop of salmon in 6 years.
So what are you eating then?
I still eat mainly tuna and the swordfish,
Tuna
but
is-
not anywhere in the Pacific unless it's Baja all the way down to Chile.
I don't see any Baja California tuna. They're in Santa Monica seafood. It's not there.
Well, they just don't get. It depends on where they're fishing. They have laws for fishing certain fish at certain times of the year.
At Trader Joe's, somebody asked me this the other day, if they could buy the tuna at Trader Joe's. It comes like with a plastic wrapper and all that. And I said probably what Aajonus would say is, it's okay if you scrape it. But I didn't know that.
Well, that's the plastic, but if it's caught from
Well, if it says Fiji,
Fukushima,
then it's okay.
If it says what?
If it says Fiji on it, if it's from fish from Fiji,
Oh yeah,
on it,
Fiji, that would
then
be
it's
okay. Yeah.
Right, that's what I've been eating.
Well, let's say, let me put it this way. They freeze, Trader Joe's freezes almost everything
Well,
solid.
that's the other issue. That's why I don't get it.
If it's not fresh, then
Costco.
all of those places have a tendency to freeze it.
Right.
The only fish that can be frozen are those from the north.
Oh.
Sweden, Switzerland, Nova Scotia, Iceland, those countries. You can eat frozen fish and it won't make a difference. They're already resilient to it.
Oh,
But you're getting anything from a tropic frozen, that's going to be
But
contaminated.
what about Chilean sea bass? They said it's previously frozen at Santa Monica Seafood.
I wouldn't eat it.
You said previously
I wouldn't eat
frozen.
it if it's pre-frozen.
You said something with freezing. You could eat it.
No,
I just said only if it's from, if it's from the South Pole part of Chile, then that's fine.
It is. It is from a club.
South Pole part. Then it's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Why is it okay you could eat freezing? Because you're getting the less nutrients out of it.
Yeah, you'll still get less nutrients, but you won't get the toxicity you do from freezing something from a temperate climate or even a tropical climate.
Makes total sense.
Like I have to go back to those tests that I did with dogs and cats. When I fed them frozen organic meat, I got a whole side, split it in a quarter, and then I took sections of each and put them in the two different categories, and I froze one category, every part of the animal, and I froze 1/4 of the animal, and then another quarter of the beef I did not freeze. I fed it to these animals for 6 weeks, and some of them even up to 10. After 6 weeks, every one of them had a skin disorder who ate it frozen. Plus, they were drinking 2 to 3, 4 cups of water a day. The dogs and cats that ate the meat non-frozen, the same meat unfrozen, even slightly getting stinky by the time at the end of the experiment, they rarely licked any water, and they were in perfect health, calm and happy. Other dogs were scratching, cats were scratching, and one even had mange from it. So it showed me that frozen meat is toxic. So, not a good thing to eat. Now, I knew that butter remedies any skin condition. And I had this argument with a lot of these people who think they know something and never go into a frickin' laboratory. Sally Fallon is one of them. Said, freezing doesn't hurt your meat and doesn't hurt your dairy. So I took these animals and I fed them from the same batch of butter, frozen butter and unfrozen butter. The animals, that sick group, I split those into two, and I fed the frozen butter to one group and the unfrozen to the other. Those that got the frozen butter took 5 times longer to heal their skin condition. 5 times longer. If you break that down into a statistics, that's 80% of the nutrients were destroyed.
Wow. And that's
Or
freezing.
unutilizable, whatever there was.
Is that freezing for just even a real short period of time, or does it matter?
I
how
don't
long?
know. This was, I had frozen it for the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Now, when you buy beef in the store, after they slaughter the animal, they hang it.
Yeah.
Isn't that like really cold in a freezer locker?
No, it's usually not under 36 degrees.
36,
32
okay.
is freezing.
Just above
36
freezing.
degrees allows that. Just if they freeze it, it doesn't break down the same. It's a different taste, and they don't like to ruin their taste, or else they don't sell as much. They can't sell to restaurants. Frozen meat, you can't get frozen meat at a restaurant unless it's Sizzler, something like that. So they do not freeze their meats. They take it no lower than 36 degrees. 38 to 36. Okay, question.
Yeah, I suddenly got little poochy things on each of my ankles.
Little what things?
Little
Poochie?
soft little poochies.
I know you have to describe poochie.
It's soft and feels like water. I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
a sudden thing. I've never had that before. It's a sudden little swollen spot, only this big right in front of by my ankle.
Yeah.
What could cause that?
Lipoma.
Really, on both sides?
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Lipoma is lymphatic fluid that's trying to break down some toxicity. It can't, so it just holds it. Grabs on and holds it.
So she should take baths.
I've got one. Did it go away? Yeah, it went away. It was there for 6 years. And it came out real big, just all in 2 days.
Yeah, this is sudden.
And then it took 6 years to go away.
But if she took baths.
But I just saw it a month ago. Not there now.
Yeah, it just was so weird because it was on both sides.
Yeah.
The same place.
Well, some people like to do it in tandem, in balance. When I got acne, always equal one, almost at the same level in height on my face. And when I popped out here, almost identical. You'll see my scars almost identical on both sides. I'm one of those who does it in balance. My scars got to match.
So, do you have to do anything special for it?
It's really difficult to get that to break down. I tried putting vinegar on it for, probably 13 or 14 times in a year. Didn't seem to move it. I tried pineapple on it. That worked a little bit better, but I was not tenacious with doing it. I travel so much that it's on my foot. I don't give a shit. If it were on my face, I probably cared.
Hot water bottles, anything like that?
That would probably help.
Okay.
But mine was as big as the end of my finger. Not that thick, but that big. Michael, do you have a question?
I think you said that fungus infections can be sexually transmitted. Is there anything you can do about that?
Surface fungal, or a yeast infection from a vaginal yeast infection. Because fungus can live on the skin, transmitting an internal so-called venereal disease is all hogwash. Cannot happen. Cannot pass through the skin, can't pass through the mucous membranes. It'll never get through all the layers of mucus to get to you. However, the certain fungus, certain yeasts live on the skin, and you can transmit those. You can transmit lice. They live on the skin. And if you want to get rid of them, throw lime juice on them. Some people put urine on them.
On lice?
On lice, yeah.
Really?
Or any kind of a fungal infection. Lime and urine work very well.
What about when you get in your hair, the lice?
Same. Stay home with piss in your hair.
I'm thinking of my grandchildren.
Well, I've got the same thing too with my granddaughter, the lice.
Yeah, they seem to be very healthy.
If we're on the diet, can we use our own urine, or is our toxins coming out?
No, you can use your own urine for a surface. Unless you know it, unless it smells like metal. If your urine smells like metal, never use it for anything on yourself. But if it smells ammoniac and slightly sweet, it's good.
Nothing as a preventative.
Yeah, you could do it as a preventative. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I know you used tapeworm for your issue there one time.
What did you say?
Talking about tapeworm?
I've heard that there's a parasite for asthma or lung problems.
That will help reverse it?
Yeah, from Africa. Have you heard that?
I've heard about it, but I had no direct experience, so I can't tell you. Okay. But if you want a parasite, the only way you could really propagate something like that would be to get the lung tissue of an animal and then try to instigate bacteria, at body temperature for a cow. If the lung is from a cow, then it has to be about 101 to 102 degrees until you see parasites manifest. And then, then you eat that.
Okay.
You may be able to get some into your lung. Don't know. Like I said, I had eaten, lots of trichinosis many times, but they never escaped my digestion. So I was unable to get, and a lot of people did that. But then when we started eating the whole intestinal tract, then people were able to get it. Still not a lot, but some. Then Joel Weinstock, that gastroenterologist at Iowa University 30 years ago, he put the strained eggs from trichinosis in Gatorade. Now, what is Gatorade? Gatorade is a highly alkalinized substance which will neutralize the hydrochloric acid so the hydrochloric acid doesn't digest the eggs. So then they were able to digest. So after that, I started telling people to eat, to eat the intestinal tract and then to wash it down with some vegetable juice. So it would alkalinize it going down, so it would destroy the acidic bacteria and the acidic juices from digesting it, giving the parasites a chance to take hold.
Why would you want to have trichinosis?
You didn't read my book?
I don't remember reading trichinosis.
Yeah, the whipworm, trichinosis. Like I said, I addressed Dr. Joel Weinstock's work, where he had pigs at the university in a sterile environment that were very ill, unhealthy. He came from a farm, and the pigs are in their own piss and shit, and they eat right out of it. So-called very toxic environment, full of bacteria. But what they're doing is just recycling all of their waste, which a lot of animals do. Normally, bugs will eat fecal matter. In the ocean, crustaceans eat fecal matter. That's their diet. That's what they're supposed to live on. They're recycling things in nature. That's what they're made for. So that if they're healthy, they're eating good stuff, even if it is shit. But he shouldn't live. That you're a crustacean. So he took the trichinosis worm from the healthy pigs at the farm, because the ones at the university had no trichinosis, no whipworm. So he put them as an experiment, and those pigs got well in a week. So he got a license from the FDA to do an experiment with people, because he's a gastroenterologist. And he thought, wow, if I can get this, the whipworm, the trichinosis really is a digestive parasite, just like bacteria, your own intestinal bacteria. They eat the food you eat. Their waste is our food. We eat the urine, the feces, and the sweat of bacteria. And if we're lucky, trichinosis. Because humans are supposed to have trichinosis. All the healthy primitive tribes all have trichinosis.
That's not the one that gets in your muscle and forms a cyst and stuff?
That's all bullshit lie.
Ah.
It's all stuff that comes from the pharmaceutical industry to scare the poop out of you. Just like scare you into taking medications. It's just like pasteurized air.
Yeah, I never heard of a person having that, a real person.
Having trichinosis?
Having, yeah, their joints or something is supposed to be. Never heard of
Supposed to
it.
be in your muscles.
Yeah, in your muscles. Never
It's supposed to be able to get out of the intestines and go anywhere. It's all stories.
So,
Those people are people that write the bead horror films for Hollywood.
so Aajonus, so they know the truth. These guys do know what the truth is.
Most of them don't. Pharmaceutical houses do. Your
That's what I'm
scientists
saying,
knew.
yes.
Your laboratory technicians
Yes.
do. How much did you know?
You mean what drugs were unsafe and everything?
Yeah.
No, we did, but we ignored it. Because
So-
the benefit
Yeah.
way outweighed
Yeah.
the danger.
The money.
The money.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, they give you lies. They give you a lot of lies.
99% of what they say is a lie. That's why I say,
Yeah.
whatever you hear from the medical profession, you do the exact opposite, and you'll be right 99 times out of 100.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So they know what they're doing.
Oh,
When
that's
they promote the lies.
most of the people don't know what to do. These lies were created years ago,
Right.
and now they're just rhetoric.
Is there parasites that you're afraid of, like liver flukes or hookworms, hornworms? Do you think some of them are bad, or do you think all of them are?
I think all of them are found in an animal body or doing a proper thing. You just have to eat right to make sure. If you've got a parasite that's eating dead cells, you want that. But do you keep eating and doing whatever lifestyle that destroys your cells? Because you're going to lose. You know, you've got these parasites eating your dead cells, you're not going to have any bricks in the wall. Because a lot of people like these, you see these old people walking across the street like this, and you say, how long is it going to take that person to get across the street? I'm going to have to wait 2 minutes before I can get on the gas and go. You know, well, these people have only a few cells in their bodies alive. They may have only 25% of their body alive. That 25% unhealthfully has to carry the whole weight, 100% of the weight of the body. Usually when a person gets to 22% of cellular life, they die. A natural death. So, if you've got parasites in there eating dead cells,
They can't
you
keep
want
up.
that. But are you doing things that kill more cells every day? That's going to make you just disappear. And you will. You get thinner and thinner. And see, the medical profession says, see. But what they do is they take these third world country kids, like in Africa, and they feed them cereal that's been rejected in America, pay a high price for it to, you say, help these starving children, give to, UNICEF or whatever it is, and then they send them the worst foods in the world. Powdered milk, according to Dr. Francis Pottinger work, powdered milk in cats created 2,300 diseases, the same ones that man did. No other processed food created that kind of disease, except for processed powdered milk. So that's what they're sending. They're sending them over cereals that have been fried in hydrogenated oils, which is plastic oil. So they've got these cereals, they're feeding them with this powdered milk and water. So these kids get parasites because then their cells are going like crazy. And there's many more parasites because they don't have all the antibiotics in these tribes. So then the parasites go to work and then the child will just disappear and die. It isn't because the parasites are eating the dead cells, it's because that child is eating that very contaminated food, which is destroying the body, the cells in the body.
The parasites come to help and try to survive it.
Right. Yeah. If you don't change what you're doing, what's happening, you're going to have problems. Okay, this side. John.
Yes.
Oh, we'll thank our hosts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've known them since 1998.
You came to our house in 98.
Yeah, 98.
First workshop.
So they, and you should see, I know John probably hates me to imitate him. He was a vegetarian for 14 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and you were vegetarian for 20-some years? Yeah. And John was only 40-something at the time, 47, 48. And he was like this, old man, skinny and all dry skin. Both of them were very dry skin. Look at them now. Okay, John, you have a question?
So I've been using vegetable juice as a wash for hair and beard and stuff, but my white hairs and my beard pick up the green. So I started using lemon juice. That's not so great. You got any other suggestions for shampoo?
I use fermented coconut cream.
Fermented coconut cream. Okay.
I let it turn pink, and then I know it's got, and then I dilute it. I'll use 10% coconut cream to 10% water. And then I use that all over my body. I wet my hair first, get all the, dead cells out of it, and then I put the coconut cream mixture in there, and then my whole body, wipe it over.
How long does it take to ferment?
If you leave it in a warm place with not in direct sunlight, could be a week.
Okay.
That, instead of, you don't use egg anymore, you can.
Yeah, but it stinks. Too many people say, oh, you smell like rotten egg or boiled egg. So I experimented other things, and I found coconut cream is the best.
Yeah, coconut cream. So your shampoo formula, is the coconut
cream
fermented
and water.
Cream and water.
Coconut cream and water.
10% coconut cream
And
to
less
water.
water.
Yep.
Okay.
10% equal to half a cup.
What do you take a cup and take 10%?
If you have if you have 2 tablespoons of coconut cream, and then how many times that would you multiply? So that's 1 ounce of coconut cream, so you'd have 9 ounces of water. I'm probably doing 1 ounce per 8 ounces of water.
I like the egg, it makes it shine nicer.
Great.
Well, so does coconut cream. Sometimes the coconut cream leaves the hair a little bit oily, but I like that.
Yeah.
Shaving cream too? Same thing?
I use mainly kefir as a shaving cream or sour cream.
Same idea.
It takes wrinkles away very quickly when you do that.
Really?
Sour cream?
For some reason, kefirs and yogurts, will take
Just rub it
dead
on your
tissue
face.
off. Yeah, rub it on the face,
Kefir and
anywhere
sour
on the
cream?
body. Pardon?
Kefir and sour cream?
Or
But how long do you leave it on?
the sour cream's stronger.
Yeah.
How long?
And you leave it on or you
Oh, I
wipe
just
it
let
off?
it absorb into my skin.
You said you shaved with it, no?
Yeah, I shave with.
Yeah.
Anything wrong with just using straight coconut cream and then washing it with the water?
That's fine.
That means the coconut.
It's just that you don't have if you have dead cells in your skin, which you do, because your skin is pretty thick, the coconut cream isn't going to help break that down. But when it's fermented and you've got bacteria in it, in the kefir, it'll start eating at the dead cells.
Do you wet your hair before you put that coconut cream
Yes, I
mixture
do.
on?
Otherwise, it's very, very oily for 2 days. If I put it on with it already wet, it'll stay, let's say, kind of slick feeling for a few hours.
So you
5
wet
or
the
6
hair and
hours.
then put it on, okay.
And then you rinse it out.
Pardon?
Then you rinse it out.
I rinse. Okay, good. Jill, do you have a question?
I had a question about poop. That, when people do the primal diet, I get some feedback. Some of them get constipated, some of them get diarrhea, and how to be comfortable or normalize poop.
If you've got diarrhea, you're throwing off a lot of poisons into your colon.
Right.
And you need to have a lot of cheese during that period to absorb it. And you have to eat as much cheese as it takes. Depends upon what poisons are being dumped. If it's mercury and formaldehyde from a vaccine, it can be high. If you've got salt mixed in it, you've got salt in your diet, you're doing it too, it's going to be explosive. So you have to tell everybody to stay off of salt completely.
And for constipation?
Constipation, that means you're digesting excellently. Unless you're depressed, that means you've got low bacteria in the colon. If you have depression that goes along with your constipation, you have a bacterial issue, low bacteria.
But otherwise, we have less water, we have less fiber.
Well, fiber is not necessary.
Right, but when they say, if you look up what you do if you have constipation.
That's garbage information.
So we eat less fiber.
I don't need any fiber.
We don't need any fiber.
I don't need any fiber.
Right.
So,
What is that
and I
about?
have great movements. But when I eat a lot of cheese and I'm detoxifying, it will be less. Not because I don't eat dry cheese. I mean, I leave my cheese out so room temperature, all the oils come out, and it's not dry. But my body's absorbing everything it can. And sometimes, you take water and you mix cement in it, what happens? It absorbs and dries the water. So the oils do the same thing. You've got lots of these toxic minerals that are being thrown into the bowel, and all this fatty cheese absorbs it, and it hardens it. The other reason that you have a lot of firm feces is because you're absorbing everything you're eating. That's a good thing. Yeah. In the wild, there was no animal besides cow by herbivores. Herbivores were the only ones who ever had diarrhea. And they always put out these sloppy, turds. We can't call them turds. They were sloppy cow pies. Dogs, cats, frogs, goats, sheep. They put out hard. They digested everything. They absorbed everything. If you looked at a coyote's or a wolf's, any kind of wild dog, canine, their feces would turn white and into powder within 2 days exposed to the sun. No fiber in it. No fiber anywhere. We don't require fiber. Herbivores do. Now, one tribe I met in the Philippines that lives to an average of 138 years old, they live on 2 foods, coconut and fish. Coconut and fish. So you have to take a look at, we've been given a lot of bad information. So if somebody doesn't have depression and they have constipation, that just shows that they're digesting everything. If it's too uncomfortable, they need to squirt a little raw cream or raw butter and cream up into their sigmoid colon. When you eat, most of the fat that you eat is all digested and absorbed into the small intestine. So your colon, which breaks down to the nutrients, the fats and the proteins into the finite molecules to feed the brain and the nervous system, don't get much. So a person can be highly constipated and have a problem there. But if they're depressed, and depression is a huge sign of not getting enough fat in the colon to feed the brain and nervous system, or they're deficient in the bacteria that digest those fats and proteins into that finite molecule, and so therefore not absorbing any of the nutrients to feed the brain and the nervous system. So that short colon we have is where we feed the brain and the nervous system.
That's a sigmoid.
And they have to be finite. That's why the body has saved that for last, because they have to be broken down in stages throughout the intestinal tract. But if you've been on a fat-free diet of your life, or you've been heavily vegetarian, you're fat deficient in your nervous system and everywhere in your body. Now, I saw them again 7 years later, and they still had dry skin. Their skin is perfect now. They've got fats in every cell of their skin, every part of their body, even their eyes and ears. And that takes time. It's been, what,
15.
15 years now. So 7 and 8 years they didn't go. In fact, I even saw you a year ago. And even in this last year, there's a huge change. They are now getting, their whole body's getting everything they need. Took them 15 years. I'm saying you can fast track that by doing that suppository. 3 tablespoons each of butter, coconut cream, and dairy cream. 1/4 teaspoon of honey. Put that in a 4-ounce jelly jar. Shake it. Put it in a bowl of hot water, a large bowl of hot water. Not hot enough to burn your hand, but hot enough to make your hand feel uncomfortable after 6-7 seconds in it. Let it sit in there for 4 minutes. This is before you go to bed at night. Take a bulb syringe, suck it all up into the bulb syringe, get on all fours and bark like a dog. And you stick it up in you. Now some people like to put it in this way. I don't. When I put it in this way. It works better for me. And then once I get it in, I go down on my hands on my face, I keep my buttocks up in the air, and I roll my stomach like a belly dancer. And that moves the fluid, the fats, up into the descending colon. And I do that for about 4 minutes. Now, you don't have to do it like I can do it. I'm good at this. I don't know why. I saw Billy Dancer do it when I was about, 6 or 7 years old, and I automatically could do it. And my mother used to get jealous. And then after, 4 minutes of doing it, you can do it very slowly. I mean, just in and out will do it. You don't have to roll it like I roll it. But it's good if you can. Then you lift the left leg, you lie on your right side, you lift your left leg, and you roll again. Or just in and out. And then that will move it over into the transverse colon. Here, it'll move it into the transverse colon and down into the ascending colon. So you're getting fat everywhere. So all of the bacteria in the colon can go to work on fresh fat that they never get. The brain and the nervous system won't get waste products anymore. They're going to get fresh fat. So when I've given this to people who have had a lot of psychological problems, depression, gets rid of it just like that. They may have to do it, several times a week, maybe every 2-3 days at the beginning. But after they've done it for a while, and a lot of depression comes from the myelin is supposed to be about 60 to 80% fat. When that's gone, you can't buffer the information that goes into the brain. You're supposed to reduce it. Let's say a pinprick is about 200,000 impulses. By the time it gets into the brain, it better be down to 6,000, or you're going to be overwhelmed and overreact. So that means that you've got low fat levels in your myelin. To replace it, that takes time. So you may need to do that injection if you're depressed every couple of days, every 2 to 3 days, until you've fed enough, you've restored the myelin enough to where you're not affected anymore. And it's as simple as that. But it takes time. Now, I came up with a formula that works pretty well quicker. 3 tablespoons of fish, 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Remember, cream's already pre-digested when it's sour. Okay, so you got 3 tablespoons of fish, 3 tablespoons of sour cream, and a 1/2 teaspoon of honey, and a tablespoon of Green Pastures Blue Ice cod liver oil.
Oh, really?
Oh, you can eat that?
As long as it's non-flavored.
Yeah.
What is it, 1/2 teaspoon of
As long as it's what?
Whole teaspoon.
What's the brand name?
A whole tablespoon.
What's the brand name again of the cod liver?
It's called Green Pastures. Green Pastures is the brand name. Blue Ice is the particular
It's fermented.
product. Yeah, it's fermented.
Yeah.
I worked with them for 2 years to make it.
Oh, wow.
really?
I thought you
buy
could
it.
eat that.
That's great.
That's great.
Where do you
No,
buy it?
I said that that's the only one you can eat. When they came out with it, I put an announcement out that is the only one. They ferment it. It stinks. It'll burn your throat, and it's perfect.
What do you use it for?
You
What
know,
is its
1
flavor?
tablespoon
Is
of
it
green
peppermint?
they put distilled oils in there, which destroys it.
What is this flavor you buy?
Remember, when you distill an oil, you turn it into gasoline or kerosene. You turn it into a solvent.
Essential oils?
Where do you buy
Essential oils, the same thing. They are solvents. Your cells don't have a choice. It'll eat just like gasoline or kerosene right into your cells.
Where do you buy
Kathy?
it? Where do you buy it?
When I'm talking, don't ask a question over me, please, because everybody else may not hear, okay? You just go online and go Google in or Yahoo search green pastures cod liver oil, blue ice. You put those 6 words in there and you're going to come up with different sites. Get the cheapest one. And it has to be in a bottle, no capsules, in a bottle.
And what is it good for?
It's good for replacing the myelin in the brain. That's the only time I ever recommend it.
How do you take
How
that?
how many times a day you take it?
The concoction that you were describing with the fish and so you just
Blend it all together.
blend it together and just eat it together.
Put it in a 4-ounce jelly jar and blend it.
Okay.
And then eat
And
that.
just eat it.
Yeah.
How many times a week you do
Twice
it?
a day?
Well, no. If you've got somebody who's really depressed and maybe on medication or near there, 3 times a day. It's a half a cup 3 times a day.
Do you recommend that for Dave and his Parkinson's? Because you gave
It could help. It could help, but they need also the lubrication moisturizing lubrication formula.
Myelin is in memory, has it to do with memory, with losing your memory?
No, myelin takes care of buffering the information. Eggs will take care of the synapse firing and the ganglion and axon transmissions.
So this formula has nothing to do with the bacteria in the intestine. This is some other approach, right?
No, if you're having sour cream, you've already broken it down. If you let your meat get a little ripe, your fish get a little ripe, even better. So and then your cod liver oil is already pre-digested. That's why it's so bitter and nasty smelling and tasting. So you mix that in there and you have it.
But you can't have it if
Blend
it
the
has
fish with it?
aniseed or peppermint in it or anything.
If you have that in, it's destroyed.
Okay.
It's like drinking gasoline with it.
I get it. Because I was eating it, and it seemed to really do me good, but it was the peppermint, so I stopped when I saw that in the book.
Yeah.
So, oh boy.
So you have to get the plain, nasty, smelling and tasting stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
So when you blend the whole mixture, because it has some honey with it, will it make it taste kind of passable then? No.
You're trying.
Put it close to it in your nose.
Well, it won't smell as bad. When you blend it all together, the cod liver oil doesn't have that strong a smell. It has more of a fishy and sour cream smell.
Do you have this in place of a meat meal?
No, you just eat less meat, though, at your meat meals. And you'd eat that with your meat meal. First, 10 minutes before your meat meal. If you've got a real bad case of it, then I would say 30 minutes before your meat meal. Bad case of depression.
Can this help somebody who's had shock treatments?
Shock
treatments.
Well, usually they have a hard time focusing and concentrating.
Was that part of the myelin?
Well, what they're doing is they're destroying the ganglia.
Oh, that's different. That would be the eggs.
Yeah,
The egg fruit benefits.
eggs. Well, that would help that too. That would help restore.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Restore.
Yeah, that will help restore because it has the meat. It has the fish with it.
Right.
Didn't have the fish with it, you may not be getting the protein to replace the myelin properly, but it will also help restore ganglia and axons if they're damaged.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you.
So are these two things be good for people that have MS or Lou Gehrig's?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They need both. MS is their nerve cells are destroyed because of the mercury and other metals, lead and cadmium, and they need to restore the nerves. So that's an excellent thing for them.
And for Parkinson's disease? For Lou Gehrig's disease too?
anything that involves the nerves and muscular dystrophy. Yeah. Any of
So
them.
these three ways, where one of them was like through the mouth, the other one was through the, like, what is the difference? Like in your body, I guess, like,
You're talking about diarrhea?
no, I'm talking about.
The suppository
Yeah, you're talking about
with the bulb syringe versus eating this formula.
Oh, it won't never get to your, it'll never get there. Your body will absorb it in the small intestines. Small intestines are very long.
Yeah.
You know, it takes
So it's
19 hours to get to the bowel. And then you've got, what, another 6 hours or 5 hours to make it through the bowel.
Does that mean any fat you eat doesn't get
Any
all
fat
those-
you eat, you know, you are now getting some to your bowels, I can tell you. When you were very thin, you weren't. No, you weren't feeding your brain and nervous system, nor were anybody who, when I was a vegetarian, fruitarian, my brain wasn't getting anything. But when you're overweight for a long enough period, you're going to be feeding your brain and nervous system every day.
Can you do this on a weight loss? You wouldn't do the thing on a weight loss program.
Weight loss for what?
You're losing weight. You're going to lose weight. You're not going to do the cod liver well thing with the weight loss.
Not unless the person's depressed. Then that's the golf ball size of, you know, meat that they will be eating, but it won't be just pure meat. It'll be that mixture. Because they're going to be on a weight loss program and be depressed at the same time.
Well, this where depression is.
But fat people are very, very rarely depressed. Because you've heard the phrase fat and happy. That means the brain and nervous system is getting fed. They're eating tons of fat.
So if I go on the weight loss, I'll call you tomorrow and ask you
Okay.
what you do.
All right. Do you have a question? You. Well, she just asked hers.
Oh, she doesn't? Okay.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it was on topic of what we were talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll just
I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
shrimp, like
Oh,
shrimp,
glad you called it to my attention. I thought.
Yeah.
shrimp, like, you know, it's usually sold frozen. It's like, tell us about shrimp and is that good for?
It depends on where they come. Fish are at the coldest part of the ocean. They're on the floor.
That shrimp.
So your shrimp, I mean. So all your crustaceans, yeah, except for clams and oysters, they can be sunbathing every day. But your crayfish, your lobsters, your shrimp, they're bottom
So it's
feeders.
okay to give them after they're.
If you look at them and you see they're gray, if there's a gray tinge to them, then they're contaminated. If they have good, rich, tones in their skin coming through their shell, they're fine.
Like a live white.
They withstand freezing pretty well.
Vietnam, is that like?
Vietnam's a good place.
So shrimp from anywhere, if it has a good tone, is okay?
Not if it has radioactive material in it.
Well, where?
So nowhere in the Pacific and nowhere in the Gulf because of the core exit.
Yeah, right.
Same thing, any fish, no matter if it's shell or shell creatures or fish.
What about
It's all the same, not in those toxic areas.
What about blue point oysters?
Same thing. You've got to get them in a clean area.
Blue point is not from.
Blue Point is usually from northern, from Nova Scotia, New England, around there, Maine.
So it's okay.
Those are good up there, yes.
Blue point, okay.
Okay, do you have a question?
Yes, I have two questions. One is my wife. She's like 38.
I don't talk about other people who are
No,
not
only,
here.
Only she went to many doctors for the eyes, and she feels something around here for too many years, and the doctor says nothing wrong, but she's worried about it.
I didn't understand. What's
The
wrong
eyes,
with her eyes?
Yeah, in her eyes, she feels something like nerves around the eyes.
Her eyes twitch?
Yeah, but she went to many doctors. They said, doctor, that it's nothing wrong. It's normal.
Well, they can't find anything wrong.
Yeah.
If you're getting into a vitamin supplement, which I don't agree with because all the natural ones are made with kerosene and all the unnatural means are made with gasoline, and those that are completely synthetic are just made from chemistry. Vitamin B6 usually stops twitching. Where can you get vitamin B6? Usually in nuts and eggs. So if she has lots of eggs, milkshakes, that'll help. But eggs by themselves will get enough B6 into her to stop it. Also that formula I just gave, because it could be the myelin also covering her eye muscles, her eye nerves, the sheath on them. So the light's causing her eyes to pulsate, to twitch. So it could be two things I would have to see her to know.
And the other one is when I drink here once in a while, when I am in the meeting or something, I drink a glass of wine or red wine or coffee. There's something here in my brain. Once in a while, I'm not addicted to the coffee, but once in a while I take a coffee.
Well, the French, the way they used to handle all their coffee and wine was to eat very rich, heavy foods. They would eat, sour cream or cream cheese on crackers. And they always had appetizers that were very rich in fat. So the alcohol would not damage the brains and nervous system. Now, the last time I went to Paris, which was a few months ago, everybody's on a fat-free binge just like they were here. And now they're drinking the alcohol and the coffee, and they're as nervous as... when I was living in Paris off and on from 93 to 96, they ate all that stuff. It was rich stuff, and they had no problems. Now they're just as wacky as Americans that did all that.
I avoid that. I don't want spicy tea and coffee.
Well, if you're going to have that, just make sure you have cheese or egg. A lot of people would put egg in their beer and their wine, or down an egg before.
What kind of beer?
There's no raw beer allowed in this country anymore. Coors up until 1986 was raw.
No kidding.
And then the FDA shut them down from raw. So there's no raw beer allowed in the United States. There are other countries, but if you're going to have a beer, you don't want to have beer made in this country. German beers are the better beers. They won't adulterate theirs like ours will. The wines, usually Hungary and Italy, most of those old small town wines are the ones to go for if you're going to do that. But, like I said in my book, have fat with it if you're going to do it, and no more than 4 ounces a week. Or else you will have damage. 4 ounces a week.
Beer or wine.
Of wine. Beer you could probably get away with 12 ounces.
She wants more. Just eat more fat.
Do you have a question?
Yes. I've heard that talk in the past about, if you have gallbladder stones, doing a liver and gallbladder flush and these kinds of things, and they have these different remedies for that. What is up with gallbladder stones? Are those terrible to have in your gallbladder?
Well, of course, stones anywhere means that when you try to pass fluids, you're going to have these little sticky crystals stabbing your mucous membrane walls, and it can be painful, very painful. Sharp pains, it can stop you, it can prevent you from working, it can prevent you from breathing because it can be so painful. So yeah, stones are not good, but their way of doing it causes damage to the liver and intestines and
because
stomach.
they do like an Epsom salt sort of
Epsom salt,
thing,
they
right?
use an oil, olive oil usually, and lemon juice.
Yeah, I've actually done them. Yeah.
And that does a lot of damage to a lot of things in the body.
So how do you get rid of them then?
I've got a formula in the book.
Okay.
You've got the beet juice, you've got the vinegar, and you've got the sparkling mineral water.
What about doctors? They recommend, because I know my clients are talking about this, like when you get a certain age, it's like, you got to go in for a colonoscopy, and it seems like that is really...
Well, that's their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about money.
But that seems like a toxic ordeal that they have to put people through.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Don't they just go in and look?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
How many people are going to let somebody put something up their buttocks that has a camera? It has usually a washing nozzle because they've got a hose.
Yeah.
You know, they have to shoot water in there if they come to a place that won't open. They've got to open it, and they have a medication that if the colon is very tight in a section, they shoot some fluid with some antiseptic. I mean, a relaxant, like a painkiller, on there, and it causes it to relax. And that takes time to move through there, slowly without tearing the intestinal wall. So it can get quite toxic. So most people take a local or some kind of painkiller before they do it.
Oh, I didn't know.
You can just stick a camera up your butt, right?
Yeah.
Well, your colon is like this all the way through, so you've got to get in through there to look way up in there. So it takes time, and they have to be gentle, or else they'll tear your intestinal wall.
And they wash it out too, huh?
If they have to, well, if you've got fecal matter in there and they can't see, they've got to wash it away.
Yeah.
But they put air in there too to pump it up.
Yeah. They've got an air jet in there too.
Yeah.
They've got 4 projectiles, 4 tubes into
So
a
what if you
tube
had a
that's
little
about
polyp?
this big.
What does that mean? So what if you had a polyp?
Polyp just means you have a cyst or a growth on the.
Yeah, you're just
on the
eliminating
intestine.
something.
Well, it can block get in and you block the food going in and going out.
Right.
So that can be a problem. That's true constipation when you have a block somewhere. When you just have hard feces, that means that you are absorbing everything or you don't have enough bacteria.
So
Not
if
digesting anything.
If you did have a polyp like that blocking it, what would you recommend?
Pardon?
If you did have a polyp like that blocking everything, what would you recommend?
Pineapple, lime juice, coconut cream, just a regular fruit meal, but mainly with pineapple and some lime juice, tiny bit of lemon, and vinegar. Probably a whole tablespoon of vinegar in that meal.
But you wouldn't recommend.
And then you'd have to do probably 3.5 to 4 tablespoons of coconut cream to make sure the vinegar doesn't demineralize you. The vinegar works in tandem with the coconut cream to start flushing that area. And the pineapple will provide the bromelain to start eating away and neutralizing the poisons. Polyp occurs, it could be a cyst or it could be a hard tumorous growth, or it could even be a lymphatic, like a lipoma. So it could be 3 different polyps, depends on how they're caused. A cyst is when the body's trying to change the fluids in a particular area. So all the fluids are going to run through this tumor that's hollow and has these fluids in it. So the body will throw the fluids up in there like we have a filter, like a sand filter, and then the fluids come back out clean. And somebody could have a cyst that could persist for their entire lives, like if they're taking an antibiotic for a yeast infection, or they've taken birth control pills. A lot of cysts develop because of those. Depends on if you're storing toxins in your uterus or in your intestines if you have a polyp.
You say you could have lymphatic issues in the intestine, like a lymphatic.
You have lymph everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's in
You have lymph glands and nodes over everywhere of your body.
Every cell
you just
has
have
to lymph out.
Yeah, you've got your main concentration of big glands are this area, this area, and this area. And here, too. On women, you've got 11. On men, they're only nodes, not glands here. So what happened?
I didn't get it.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, God. Yeah, double mastectomy.
She just lost, what'd she lose? She lost 22 lymph glands that will prevent cancer. So now she's not going to have breast cancer, she's going to have lung cancer. Hello?
Yeah.
And she's having her ovaries taken out.
Oh, she's silly.
Yeah, she does do that.
She's going to be miserable.
But the ovaries don't act like a lymph glands. Here, when you take those breasts, you take the 11 lymph glands that are around each one.
Oh my God.
So that's a double lumpectomy. That's 11 lymph glands on each one. That protects your lungs. Now she's going to have to go to here for it and here for it. So you're going to see her neck starting to swell over the years. She's going to lose her beauty very quickly.
Yeah, she just listened to the wrong people.
I think she's
going to be in menopause big time from taking those ovaries out of her age.
No, she'll take
She'll take
drugs.
hormones.
She'll take hormones.
It's so dumb though.
Causes more
And she'll blow up.
Yeah, she.
She'll look like Meryl Streep.
But don't you think
But she'll look like it sooner than Meryl Streep did.
What happened to Meryl Streep?
Yeah, what's wrong with her?
Well, Meryl Streep is just getting old.
Oh, okay.
She, she
Like the
doesn't
rest of
eat
us? Right.
like this, so she's putting on toxins. And she's not dumping, so she just keeps bloating. Like most people do who can't perspire their waist, they just keep collecting under the skin and get fatter and fatter. Not fatter, they get bloated.
Right.
Most of it's even, I'd say probably 40% minimum is water. Okay, I'm going to get to you last.
Sometimes my red meat, I like to dry it a bit before I eat it. But my question is, how much can I dry the meat? Sometimes I dry before I put it in the, sometimes after. How much can I dry it before it starts to lose?
How many days are you drying it?
The most 2 days.
Too long. If you dry for 8 hours, 10 hours, okay. After that, you're starting to lose all the bacteria and then all of your bioactive enzymes. For about a 1/16 of an inch in, every 8 hours you're going that much.
Are you talking about just leaving it uncovered in the refrigerator?
Yeah, even that. Yeah, even that. Because it pulls the moisture out. Once the moisture's out, the bacteria die. They dehydrate.
Have it in a glass
The
jar.
bacteria dehydrate. Enzymes are no longer bioactive.
So even if it's ground up, the most 10 hours. I mean, would that be less if it's ground up because there's more surface area, right? You follow what I mean?
Well, not necessarily. If it's all ground, you usually have a lot of your fluids already exposed, so it could even be worse for that.
Well, that's what I mean. If it's ground up, it should probably be less than 10 hours. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably 6 hours you're going to do that. When I leave mine out, sometimes I only leave it out for no more than an hour if I do that. And then I put my sour cream or whatever, my butter, whatever I'm eating with the meat on top of that.
Okay, but if I keep it outside, but keep a lid on it, that would be okay.
No, it will still dry out. Depends on how much airspace you have.
Right, okay.
If you have very little airspace, then you can leave it out. I leave mine out for days out of the refrigerator tight in a jar, just so it keeps breaking down.
Right.
Like when I was in Chicago, I got there on Friday afternoon, and I ground all my meat and then put it in jars, and put it in a large jar this big. And I had it for 3 days, and I didn't refrigerate it once. I just left it on the counter.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've had it out sitting on the counter for days. If the meat's brown, is that too much?
Brown on the...
Yeah, it's
just
brown.
oxidizing on the outside.
It's not the fact that it's brown, but okay.
It's not gonna make
Because quite often it's brown. Like I do in the blender, and then
Blender or food processor?
Food processor, yeah. I'll do a food processor, and might leave it out for a day, and it'll be nice and brown. And for me, it's more appetizing. That's why I've been doing it.
Yeah, it'll break down a little bit more, but put a lid on it.
Okay. But the fact that it's brown, that's not significant.
No, not really.
Okay.
Because sometimes, your fecal matter is brown. Sometimes the bacteria that's like aerobic bacteria has brown feces. The non-aerobic bacteria, their feces is white in our intestines. That's why the lacteal system that's connected to the intestinal tract, you have this web network called lacteal system. It's called lacteal, meaning milk in Greek and Latin. It's white. It looks like milk. So everything that you eat turns into milk in the intestine by the bacteria. So it gets absorbed. So I don't care if you're eating blackberries or beets. You know how they can stain?
Yeah.
When the bacteria eats in the intestines, it's white when it comes out of them. White urine, white poop, white sweat. And then that's absorbed into the lacteal system, and that feeds the whole body. It's supposed to be through the lymphatic system, but everybody's lymphatic system is so jammed that now the blood's transporting a lot of the nutrients. And that's not a good thing, because the blood is meant to do one thing, to give you energy, to deliver oxygen to your cells for energy. So if your blood is being utilized to deliver nutrients because the lymph system can't, then you're losing a tremendous amount of your energy, more than half.
Wow.
So the only way you're going to have energy is to be hyperglandularly. So high adrenaline, high testosterone, high estrogen, activity hormones. And there are a lot of people out there like that. But there's more people out there that are just slugs. Do you have a question, Jim?
Yeah. My right leg used to be a lot bigger than my left leg, and during the last year or so, I've probably been sitting down less and a little bit more active, and I've been pretty strict on the diet, and basically that got handled. They're about both the same size, and there's not a lot of water in my feet. But
yeah, you notice that I wore sandals for the first time in 3 years. I'm not swollen anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
From those injections, yeah.
You know, you say here and there in many places only to have like a limited amount of fruit. Well, every place I turn, I want more fruit. You know, I want cherries for the gout. I want blueberries for memory, or with honey at night to sleep, and just fruit, and I want it. Like even the sports formula, I'm ecstatic when I do it with watermelon and melon. But why am I craving fruit so much? I mean, what is it okay?
Not really. It's not okay. But the reason you're doing it is because you have low enzymatic activity. So the better thing would be to do was spread out your honey and everything. Eat more honey than fruit. Build up that enzymatic activity a little bit better with the honey. If you're going to eat that much fruit, you're going to be very protein deficient.
Okay.
And then you'll get larger here and smaller everywhere else.
And if I had, does that have any to do with
I can tell anybody's overeating fruit. They're going to have a big waist and get smaller and smaller in the shoulders and the arms and the legs. And that's what I've been watching you do.
But I mean, there's so much value in cherries and blueberries and all that stuff, right?
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, but that isn't. For the human body, you need very little of that.
Okay.
There are other places to get your potassium and phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium. You don't have to get it from fruit.
Where do you
In
get
your alkalinity.
Would this not fruit?
Pardon?
What's the best place to get potassium from not fruit?
Well, bananas is a melon fruit. No.
That's not fruit.
Yeah, it's not fruit. Milk.
Milk has potassium?
Yeah. Milk has all of those. That's what I'm saying. If you have fermented milk, they will already be digested. I mean, it's delicious to have the fruit, and it goes through fast, and it feels good, makes you a little high, but you're also going to deteriorate all of the protein in the muscles and a lot of the fat. So you're going to come to a point where you're going to be demineralized, both in the muscle tissue and the glands and the bones. Then you're going to wish, wait a minute, maybe I should curb that now because I won't be able to have fruit at all to get back from that space.
probably I'm not drinking enough juice, so I'm thirsty. And for me, the fruit
Then
is
do
the
some more
solution.
sport formula.
Yeah, well,
With
without
more
the
tomato and
watermelon.
cucumber,
I
with
mean-
not so much. Well, if you're having the watermelon and not the heart, everything from the seeds down to the white, down to and peel the green off. If you're having that section, it's not going to be that high in sugar. But if you're eating the heart and anything around the seeds, it's going to be too much sugar.
Well, you're thinking like I am. You're figuring out how I can eat more fruit.
Yeah. But that's a melon fruit. That's a little different.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Why do you call banana a melon fruit?
Because it has all the properties of generating hormone precursors that melons have. Yeah, in fact, if you say you want to build up your skin, you have melons, and bananas one of them. Biochemically, that's how a melon breaks down. I mean, a banana breaks down just like a melon does.
But unripe, like not ripe.
Unripe, it isn't this hormonal reactive.
Say that again?
It is not as hormonal reactive when it's not ripe.
Oh, so if you want to boost your hormones, you need it.
More ripe.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
But I thought that the modern bananas now are no longer like the wild variety, and that they don't have the seed, like the seeds and the sugar content is far exceeds what it used to be in the wild, and they're much larger. Is it still going to affect our bodies?
Well, in the wild, you have some big red ones, and there's some different sized ones. They're all different sizes. Mm-hmm. But certainly these big yellow ones that we have been boosted. Mm-hmm. They've been trying to get rid of seeds, Monsanto and all those greedy bastards have been thinking for a long time, we need to get rid of seeds because people have to buy seeds to grow things. When seeds aren't there, they can't plant them on their own, so they have to be buying it from us, the market.
Right.
So that's been going on for, my uncle made me aware of that because he worked for Dow in their agricultural department, and he went all over the world trying to teach people to cultivate bananas differently. He spent 12 years in Africa doing that. So they were intended way back, because he started that in the 50s, working with Dow to get rid of seeds all over the world.
Only now we're starting to march about it.
Pardon?
Only now we're starting to march about it.
Yeah.
60, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't get a turn.
Did you get your? You're going to get yours. Sit your butt over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aajonus, these hot baths, how often should you take them?
When you're away, I do them every day, 90 minutes.
Okay.
And if you have a hot tub or a way to heat your bathtub, I was going to build, a system so people could put in their bathtub, but I could not get a license for it because it has to be set up in a way that would be too intrusive in your bathroom. I was just going to set up. Now, I can I can tell you which ones to buy, but you have to hook it up yourself if you know plumbing. So that can work. You just have a hose that goes in, dumps the hot water at the feet, and one that takes the water from the bath right around your chest somewhere and pulls it out and circulates it through a filter, then a pump, and then a heater, a standalone instant heater. And those are very good for a small bathtub. So a medium bathtub or a large bathtub, and you can circulate that. But all of those appliances, especially the pump, has to be 3 feet away from the bathtub. So you've got to have a thermostat on it that works. You can shut off and turn on, shut off and turn on. So your bath doesn't get too hot, just like a hot tub does. And if you want to have a remote control on it, you could probably jerry-rig up a remote control to it. But if you have a thermostat, it's hard to put a thermostat reading into a bathtub unless you're completely still all the time. And if you're still sleeping, that's good. You could do your first 90 minutes of your sleep period in the bathtub or in your hot tub. If you do like I used to do, I'd go to sleep 4 or 6 hours in my hot tub, and that's where I did all my sleeping. And the people who do that kind of thing get well faster. It's like the cheese thing, you know.
If you have your
It speeds everything up nicely.
like an infrared sauna.
Infrared sauna is too hot. It damages the eyes, the mucous membranes, the lungs, the bronchioles, everything, throat, ears. And if you're naked, the vagina and the penis, your urethra, because it will heat up inside.
In the hot tub, obviously we want to stay away from chlorine and what was the other what is it, bromine or something?
Fluoride. Chlorine.
How do you keep, because you got to fill it with some kind of water.
Well, you put, like I said in the book, under health modalities, baths, you put milk, vinegar, and some sea salt or Epsom salt in it. And if you've got, a filter going through it, like you've got the filter, you have a sand filter. Little, canister of sand in it, and it goes through there, and then to your pump, and then to your heater. You're going to be filtering it all the time. But you put those ingredients in the water to neutralize those poisons. If you're not putting new water in all the time and you're circulating it with this pump, you're not going to have any more contamination get into the tub.
I thought the clay helped clean it too.
Clay does too, but if you have clay with a heater, it's going to cake onto the heater, and it's not going to work anymore.
Well, and the milk doesn't grease it up or something?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. What about a jacuzzi?
A jacuzzi has no heating system, and it's very toxic because when I've registered with an EMF field meter for jacuzzis, the EMF field is up to 112 to 130 milligauss. Constantly, as long as the motor's on. And we can handle maybe 2.5 minutes of that before it starts altering the human cells. So I have people who put, like a fellow that I just left his farm in Stockton that's on the diet, the whole family. When he was building his house, thank God I got there, while he was building his house a year ago. And I put the meter, I said, you can't have the motor with your jacuzzi. And I showed him when he turned the meter on. And the field was up to 8 feet away.
Wow.
So he put it in the basement to run his jacuzzi. So he can be in his jacuzzi and run the motor and have all the air current in there because the motor is down in the basement, away from him, away from who's ever in the bathtub. But it had to be 8 feet away.
Wow. What about the crystal beds? You know the crystal beds that they're all advertising?
I don't know. I haven't experimented or seen them.
Oh, with the infrared?
I haven't seen them.
The temperature on the lymph bed is still recommending 105?
105.
105.
To 105 up to 110 if you can handle it. I've seen people go in at 102 like a 60. He was 63 years old when he started doing the hot tubs, and he took it up to 110 every day for 90 minutes.
Wow.
And he was just still like a couch potato. And he called me and said, "I still have absolutely no energy. I've been on the diet a year and 9 months. The last 3 months I've done the baths religiously. I've done them for 90 minutes a day, every day, sometimes a little longer." And I said, "At what temperature?" He said, 110. I said, "Oh my God, 110? I said, "Well, stop doing them for 3 weeks and see how you do." At the end of that 3 weeks, he was a different man. He had melted out everything. He just needed to cool his body and let it recover. So he started an international stem cell company. He works 14, 16 hours a day. And now he's 76, 77.
Marcolis?
Cells?
Huh?
Dan Marcolis?
No.
No? Okay.
Is that the stem cell you're talking about and how to use?
Pardon?
You said something about stem cells.
Yeah?
No, you
I said that he started an international stem cell company.
that stem cells are good to have, but not from this way.
Well, if you're eating bone marrow, you get stem cells. If you're eating sour cream, you're going to get some stem cells.
Oh. So I have some more questions for you.
Yeah.
Now these, you know how, like with women...
You only get one more.
One? Okay.
Everybody's getting two.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, so... all right, which one do I want to ask you that's more important here?
You want to take a few minutes to think about it? Or you want in the
I know what it is. Okay,
Okay.
so hormones, like for women going through menopause, they say they get progesterone, estrogen. Now they're even saying...
What did I say in my book?
Okay, well...
I said in my book that the hormonal change is just a hormonal change. Okay. You're going to use your hormones in a different way. Rather than having menstruation and creating, ovum, you're now going to be able to use your hormones for the rest of your own good, not for anybody else's. If you're eating properly, that changeover will go fine. If you're not, it's not going to go well. Or if you've got tremendous amounts of toxins, like Kathy back there, I think she had, the heat flashes for like 10 years.
It's because once you remove something, it's going to get even increasing more because you're lessening the body's ability to produce any more. I mean, not more, but you're taking something out that wasn't supposed to be out in the first place.
No, that's not true.
Well,
when you go through menopause, you're just changing over the use of your hormones.
No, I know, but I had a surgery. That's another
Oh,
thing.
you did. Oh.
So I have more toxins in that area because of the surgery.
Exactly. So she's the only person I know that's gone through a hard menopause. Only one, and I had probably
I didn't even know I was
1,000. Yeah, didn't even know it. Most people don't even know that. Most women have no idea, and no men.
But when you go through surgery, it's another story altogether because they're using chemicals in the body that you shouldn't have in the first place.
Absolutely. And if they get down there in the ovaries or in that area, you're going to be having those symptoms because it'll be clearing out those hormones, those toxins that are related to those glands, and not only changing over to a new way of utilizing them. Okay? Melons are good. Bananas with sour cream and cheese, good way to help get through that. I wish I had known that when I was helping you, Catherine, but I did not. Okay, Kathy, do you have a question?
Oh yeah, I want to mention, I did that maca root. People that asked me if anything, I never got the tapeworm.
Yeah.
It never came. I did it twice. I followed your instructions with the lukewarm milk and the 5 or 6 tablespoons of maca root. I left it out when I was a number of days.
But with the lid on, tight lid?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And then nothing. I just got I got diarrhea for a while, and now it's not diarrhea. It depends.
Well, you're just too toxic. It took me 32 years to create a tapeworm.
Well, then I should do it again.
Yeah, just keep doing. Well, do it once a year and see.
Okay, well then. That, and also I have this brown spot on my nose. You said I could ask 2 questions, and this is not gone away. I don't know what it is.
Taking a little piece of pineapple and rubbing on it?
Oh, it doesn't eat up the skin, take off the skin?
No. You take a little piece of pineapple and you rub it on there very gently. Don't rub it in hard.
Yeah.
You just barely touch your skin with it. For 30 seconds you rub it.
Okay.
And then you do that once a day. Maybe every 5 days you skip a day, and you do that. And you notice how many freckles I got rid of? In the experimentation, I put pineapple. Just take a little slice of pineapple and rub it over, because I got a lot of freckles all over my body. If I take off my shirt, I look like Robert Redford, and I got rid of all of those freckles I had as a child because of the vaccines, and those came up because of the vaccines. All my freckles were because of vaccine contamination. They were tattooing my skin.
Oh.
Okay, so now I'm trying to get rid of them because those metals, I don't want them staying in my skin.
So you just rub pineapple on.
So I rub pineapple and, every
week. You just bite
week.
into the pineapple and put it on like that, get the juice out of, or you need the whole pineapple?
Well, you can just cut it and put a little juice on and rub it for 30 seconds, but not hard and not fast. Slowly and gently.
I just want to, could I make a quick announcement? No. I just want to mention that London had, June 12th, they had their big chemtrail geoengineering awareness. So it's catching on into different places like GMO. We're catching up with them.
Well, you notice they haven't been spraying as much.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. But
I like
we have
that.
somewhat of a haze up there. I felt hard. It was hard for me to breathe yesterday. For some reason, I was in Santa
Well,
Monica.
we've had lots of fog. This is the time of the year for fog, remember?
Well, I mean, it looked like
June and
chemtrails.
July, we have a tremendous amount of fog. The whole coastline is fog
Well,
for those 2 months.
I just want to mention what they're going to have at on Urban. It's coming June 29th. If anybody wants to come at 2 p.m., they're going to discuss there's going to be a discussion and action plan. Wait a minute. Here it is. Video discussion of the SkyDar alert film that you can take films and pictures and send it to your senators. And the DVD presentation of what they had. We were at the Monsanto March, if anyone wants to come and see that. And Mike Murphy's film is going to be Who in the World is Spraying? So we're going to look at who are the people behind these chemtrail...
Well, the Navy's backing it. They're the ones
I
who
know,
have to
but
patent
one of
on it.
the people behind it too, corporations, Bill Gates, which corporations are involved in this chemtrail assault attack on us, and
Well, Boeing's involved because you're using they developed the planes for it. And they jerry-rigged the big tanks and the carrier planes to do it. Okay, Kathy, if you got more, then you're going to have to email it to everybody. Okay, do you have a question?
Everybody wants to know his upcoming film is coming out and working, but he needs donations.
Well, it's the best thing to do, so everybody is aware, is you email it. Okay?
I don't have everybody's email, so that's the difference.
If you want to receive that information about chemtrails, then it's a good thing to work on.
Because the weather pattern that they did in Oklahoma was caused by this, and
It's rather hard to do it. HARP has more to do with that.
Aajonus, there's a website called harpstatus.com. It gives you all the HARP data and all the chemtrail data. And I have, for 2 months, looked at the sky and then looked at the website, and they're spot on the chemtrails.
Absolutely,
Yeah, harpstatus.com.
Well, I know, but one thing they said, they lost farmlands and they lost homes and lives because of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a terrible
HARP and
thing.
chemtrail.
They
Lost a lot of
It did show HARP in Oklahoma for days and days and days before those tornadoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
Now we're going to have.
What we could do is speak out against her. Should we do a large protest, or what do you suggest?
I'm not involved. I told you I'm involved into the food thing. There's no chance I have to do
Well,
anything.
I know, but you can make a suggestion if you think a protest is going to change it.
Let me tell you, I don't think you're going to have to go up with guns to the military.
No.
And Boeing and whoever's, Monsanto is probably putting out Monsanto or Dow's producing the chemicals for them.
Yeah.
So you have to go after those.
They have the drought-resistant seeds, and they
Why
have
don't
the
we-
aluminized seeds, so we know they're the ones behind it.
Yeah.
And I know somebody's chickens died in Yuma, Arizona because of that. They were
Kathy,
gassed.
I cannot spend any more time on this.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, do you have a question?
Yes, I was wanting to know how to repair a leaky gut syndrome.
Leaky gut mostly by eating tremendous amounts of eggs and honey and butter. Usually when somebody has leaky gut, they don't produce the mucus that protects the mucus lining. So their own digestive acids and digestive bacteria eat away at the intestinal wall. It becomes thinner and thinner. And then when you even have a small amount of food that collects in an area, it will tear. The food passes out, undigested food particles pass into the gut. That's leaky gut. Then your body has to digest those particles somewhere, so it takes them to the joints. The cartilage is the second most resilient tissue in the body. The stomach is the first. It produces hydrochloric acid. It can dissolve bone, but it won't dissolve itself. The cartilage is almost like that. But what happens is when the bacteria is there breaking down the food, it also etches gradually at the bone, and that causes 85% of all arthritis and rheumatism. But it's actually leaky gut. So if you're eating, I usually tell people to eat 22 eggs a day minimum.
How
do you eat them?
And about,
Boil them? I mean, how do you eat them?
raw.
This is her first.
Raw.
This is my first. This is all new. Lewis invited me from.
Oh, I see.
Well, we got a book for you to read.
I was going
We told you to get the book.
No. I just met him the other day. He was doing massages, and I was there in Tarzana.
Oh.
He was telling me about you. I was talking to him. I had taken some antibiotics after a surgery about 1.5 years, and it had destroyed my stomach.
Everything, not only your stomach. When you take 5 days round of antibiotics,
This is 21 days.
well, each 5 days you destroy 1% of the body's bacteria. That's 1% of the body's entire functionality. On this diet, you can only restore 2.5% a year. And in 5 days, you're destroying 1%.
Yeah, I had.
So you got rid of 4% in that 21 days.
Yeah. I've lost 15 pounds in 3 weeks. I've been to the ER 3 times. I can't eat anything without my throat because I've become immediately allergic to everything. But even water makes my lips tingle and my face get tingle.
That's what a long 21-day round does.
So
All your bad digestive bacteria has been completely wiped out.
I know. I got to figure out how to restore it.
Raw fermented milk.
Fermented milk.
Yeah, I mean like kefir yogurt, raw fermented kefir yogurt.
How would I get through? I went and done one of those allergy things, and it came back 15 things came on.
Okay, since you haven't read the book, you're getting into a lot of stuff.
Okay.
See, I do not let
This
people. Even it says on my flyer, if you have not read the book, you don't get to ask questions.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay, so well, I understand that now, but in the book it'll tell you all of that stuff.
Yeah,
okay, so if you want to get the book, yeah.
Can I just make one last suggestion? The last thing, because they're going to have an upcoming geoengineering chemtrail march on August 8th. That's all I want to mention.
Where?
Global. They're going to just find. I'm going to find out at the meeting on June 29th at the Unurban Cafe, 3301 West Pico at 2 p.m. If anybody's interested.
Okay. So, did Marilyn leave? Oh, there you are. If you need food, you brought some?
I brought cheese and mostly cheese. I have a few other things.
Okay, a few other things. Is there anything? Is there any fermented anything?
Some yogurt, yes.
Yeah, okay. That could help you.
Fermented does not feed the yeast, like if you have candida.
Okay. Raw food does not create the same kind of thing. Once you cook something, you have toxins that form, 32 toxins that form. And when you're taking a test, allergy test, they're using the processed proteins from that food, same as eating cooked food. So your allergy will be to cooked processed food, not to raw. Okay? All right. So is there anybody? Wait a minute. Is there anybody that didn't get 2 questions?
I didn't.
Okay. 3 people. 4 people. Okay. Yours.
Yep. Yes. Have you contemplated collection of juice recipes, like a lot of people into the raw movement, different juices for different therapies?
Well, it's really hard to tell how somebody's going to react. Like I said, I would have to have a clinic with a constant supply of the same vegetables and herbs to be able to tell what they do on a lot of people. So I would not write such a book unless I did that experiment for 6 years.
Okay.
Because everybody thinks they have an idea, because of Walker. Walker didn't know hat from a butt, from shorts. So.
Too bad.
So, I mean, some of this stuff will, of course, work because it's providing nutrients, but probably more than half of what he said really doesn't work for that particular problem expeditiously. Okay. You have another question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
related to the system you just described for heating water in a bathtub. So I was actually thinking of building this myself, and I was reading on the internet. I looked up product manuals for these water heaters, and I was reading all the specifications, and I was really worried that if I put something other than pure water, that it'll ruin it. Like if I put in milk.
Well, you're going to run it through a filter first. When the water comes out of the bathtub, it goes through the sand filter or some other type. The sand filter is best. Runs through a sand filter or a charcoal filter made with coconut charcoal. Runs through that, then it goes through your pump, then the heater. You're not going to have that. I did it for 12 years to a heater, and it never damaged it. It did damage it 1 year when I ran clay through it. The clay all of a sudden became ceramically thick on top of my heater, and then my heater wasn't working anymore. So I had to buy another heater. But that was only when I used the clay in the water. So if you use clay in the water, you can't use a instant heater.
And is there a particular brand of heater that you recommend? Or?
They have so many. I mean, it's like a crapshoot. Those are all instant heaters where the water goes through and heats the water right there in this little thing. I mean, it's phenomenal. That's what's on my house. I mean, not my house, the house half of the house I'm renting. I've got one tank that's this big. It's 141 degrees, and it heats the whole freaking house. You know, just that tank that's this big. But you can buy smaller ones that just take care of your bathtub. You know, you can do, $100, $125, you know. The pump's the thing that I can't get a low EMF field out of. That's the thing that has to be 3 feet away. I looked at every pump manufactured even in China, and nobody makes it with transistors instead of capacitors. So there's a high EMF field.
Did you check DC pumps too?
Absolutely, everything and all the EMF fields.
What are you using then? You don't have a
Well, I'm
pump?
saying you have to keep it 3 feet away.
Oh, you have that.
Yes, I have it, but that's on my bathtub outside. I have a shower inside my house, so I got this. Thanks to where did she go?
Who?
I guess she left. Anyway, she gave me a 6-foot clawfoot tub.
Oh,
I have that outside. There you are. I thought you were over here for a minute. Yes. So I got a clawfoot bathtub, and so I've got the pump, the heater, and everything washing in and out of that. But it's outside. It's easy to put it 3 feet away. In your bathroom, you're going to have to set it up each time.
It's like an
you know,
Aforo.
or have pardon.
It's like an Aforo, the Japanese tubs that are like thousands of dollars.
Well, $2,000 for a good old Fulu cedar hot tub. It's what they do is they jack up the price like 3-4 times on the heater, filter, and the pump. So you pay $2,000 for their tub, and then go put $200 on a heater and $100 on a pump, $125 on a pump, or $70 on a pump. You know, a regular fountain pump or a waterfall pump that you use in your garden, a garden pump, water pump, and then you've got a sand filter or a charcoal canister filter. So, you can do the whole thing for about $2,800, $2,600. If you go to them, you buy $2,000 for that, and you pay another $4,000 for those other 3 items, and then for them to hook it up. It's cheaper to buy them yourselves because you'll spend about $600 on those things, and then $300 for a plumber to come in and do it for you.
Don't they get stained if you put milk in the water?
Pardon?
Don't the sides of the tub get stained? I mean, if it's wood and if you furrow or whatever.
They usually put a plastic liner in it.
Oh.
But if you're not having a plastic liner, then that's fine. It won't. You can just wipe it off.
Oh.
It won't stain it. You just wipe it off. Just like in a bathtub, you've got that film along that top area. You just wipe it. Okay. You have a question, Michael?
On the internet I saw a ad that said a dentist, this is a laser health center in Fullerton, and they say they have the capability of working on a nerve, and I asked my dentist about it, and he says if you touch the nerve will die, it has no place to swell. So it seems inconsistent. I don't know if it's just nonsense. They were on Quack Watch, and I don't think it's a Quack Watch.
Well, it depends on some people. They've developed some lasers which are pretty incredible, but they're in the experimental stage for dental stuff. For eye stuff, they're very good at it now, but they've had 26 years to work on that. You had your eyes done when 96, 92?
I had the LASIK done in 1998.
That was that late. Okay, I had another patient that had done in 1994. And that was fine. They've got it down, but this dental stuff, using it there, it's all experimental at this time. So I'm not sure I would do it. You had one more question?
Yeah, the cholera epidemic in Haiti, do you know anything about it? What's the real story or anything?
Well, they poisoned those people. They put down more chemtrails in those particular countries, Haiti, than anywhere else. They poison those people to death. And they have a contamination going on. People are getting very sick and dying, so they're calling it cholera.
Calling it what?
Cholera. Just like the flu, shot that was given, the Spanish flu shot way back in the 1918? Yeah, I meant 1918. That was from the first flu shot that was produced. First flu shot. And, of course, they called it flu when it was actually a vaccine epidemic. And the Black Plague, or rat black lung disease, when it was cold. King and Queen of England in 1310 started initiating legislation or dictation, or what do they call that when a royal family makes a law? What do they call that? A decree. So they put out decrees where people they got into the coal business in 1310. So they were encouraging people to cook with coal and to heat their homes with coal. And so by 1396, I think it was, they had decrees in all of London. You had to use coal. You could not bring wood in because it would create contamination. And it wasn't clean. And you didn't know if there were bugs or insects on it. Coal had no toxicity, no bugs, no anything. So the king, it's like the health department now using the bug germ theory to get rid of good food, like raw milk. So people over a 100-year period, by the time 1410 came along, 1409, people started coming down with a black plague, black lung. What was the black lung from? Coal. What is one of the main vapors that comes off of it? Mercury. That's where 90% of our mercury poisoning in the air comes from, is burning coal to make fuel, to make energy, to make electricity. And most of our energy is produced by burning coal. All that mercury vapor. So these people had no chimneys in their house. They're cooking with coal. They're heating their homes with coal. The Black Plague, of course, they were breathing it. Nobody in the farms did it. Nobody in the farms. Nobody in the outskirts had any of the Black Plague, the black lung, because they were still using wood. Or they'd burn the wood and bring rocks in the house. Put rocks on the stove to cook with, to boil whatever they were going to boil. And not have any fumes in the house at all. We had sickness from people cooking in their house with wood, yes, but it was nothing like would cause the Black Plague. Mercury, thick mercury plaque on the lungs, black lungs, of course, coal. So then what happened in 1420, when they realized that it was the coal causing the problem, then it was decreed that you had to have chimneys or vents in your home, off of your stove and your fireplace. And look at all the kids who were chimney sweeps because they could get down in the chimney. How many of them got black lung even after all that was over and they had chimneys, and a lot of people went back to using wood instead of coal. Almost every chimney sweep didn't live beyond 23 years old. Pretty nasty. So the government's always going to blame something in nature. So cholera is just a bullshit, disease. So they've created with their heavy chemtrails. They've been after Haiti a long time, because when Bob Marley got everybody fired, they weren't going to stop it. They finally had to do away with giving him brain cancer. And then, he died, 82 was it? And then...
Bob Marley?
No, 82? Yeah, I think it was 82.
That's Jamaica.
No, he would go to Haiti. If you read about him, he went to Haiti and these different African countries revolting against the white man. Crazy Bald, remember that song, Crazy Bald Head? Great song. Get that crazy bald head out of this land.
All right. Wow.
So, and he had all of these countries rebelling against England and the USA.
They killed him then?
Yeah, they finally gave him brain cancer.
How did they do that? Do you know?
They contaminated his marijuana with thimerosal, mercury.
So the toe thing was not...
Pardon?
Didn't they say something about his toe?
Well, it started in his foot. Yeah. Your heavy metals, when they first go into the body, especially when you're inhaling, go to the feet because they're in vapor form. And then they go to the feet, and then they start collecting all over the body. And he was a heavy smoker, marijuana smoker. You have 16 times more tars in marijuana than you do in a cigarette. So, of course, that held on to the mercury, spread it throughout his system. I had one child that at 15 and a half, he saw these drug dealers hide 4 kilos of grass. So he stole it. And for the next year and a half, or year and 9 months, he smoked it. Took him a whole year and 9 months to smoke it with his friends, and he had the largest amount of cancer. Mercury in the brain I'd ever seen in every joint. When he came to me, he was crippled. His knees were blown out, his elbows, and he couldn't do anything for himself. His mother had to take complete care of him. And that was from smoke. At that time, and the government still does it, if you're not a government-sanctioned poppy field or cocaine field or marijuana field, they will go over and spray thimerosal on your field. So that
If you're not government sanctioned?
Pardon?
If you're not government sanctioned, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not,
We have our CIA is peddling heroin, cocaine, crack into this country.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that bring
All over
in
the world.
Opium triangle.
In Asia, in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Indonesia and Malaysia, were your primary poppy growers. The U.S. and the British government put a stop to it all there, and now it's all being grown in Afghanistan under our government protection. 98% of all heroin is now produced in Afghanistan. That's why they want it in Afghanistan. So, and that's going on now. Now only 2% is produced in Asia. Wow. So, anyway, when it wasn't sanctioned, they poisoned it. So this kid had 4 kilos of mercury contamination. Okay, that's it.
Okay, well, before you go, John and I brought got some of our raw food DVDs, which have a lot of
terrific.
recipes. So if anyone's interested in those, talk to us.
They're awesome. I love it. I really enjoy it. I'm so glad you.
John,
Sometimes people stop her on the street and say, "Oh, I've seen you in your TV."
Oh, cool.
When I'm in Los Angeles.
They even go through a market and show you how to pick foods.
Wow.
I didn't see that part.
Coconuts?
Didn't you?
Picking coconuts? You don't remember that part?
Yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah.
We're in the market.
Breaking up.
Our local market.
Well, thank you, Aajonus.
You're welcome. How late is it?
It's
Oh,
late.
it's late.
Very late.
Yeah, well, let's see. It is now
6:16.
6:16.
Well, so we went an hour over because we didn't get started till 15 minutes late.
Okay. Anyway, some things
I suppose this is mine.
Good.
I have something to give you.
All good.
Okay. First
you
of
gotta
all,
sign something?
no.
So you're busy.
Nothing like better
Yeah,
than
I'm
that.
just-
First of all, I
feel
want
a lot
you
of
to donate for the right to
responsibility
choose healthy
with
food.
my team.
Did you want
my
in the
contract
envelope?
team,
Or?
and it's growing
Al,
every
Al
month.
said it, yes. Thank you.
So it's a better
Yeah,
gig.
so
you-
So